Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Morus Cup Semi-Finals. I'm Nathanius, joined by Runekeeper and Odin, as we continue our journey towards finding out who's the best at NARAKA BLADEPOINT, a question we ask ourselves. But we've got multiple seasons to figure that out, a big grand championship at the end of the year to decide that. Odin, how are you doing today, man? How you feeling? Give me the temperature check today.
Today's a great day, man, and it's a great day for NARAKA. I'm pretty excited about this because we know that all the players that we saw from last week are like the cream of the crop, and that means that somebody's going to have to go home. Like, we're going to be seeing people that we would expect to go all the way eliminated because there can only be one winner, and I'm very pumped to see who's going to move on to the finals.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake. I mean, we talk about it a lot. 16 of the teams, right? When we were talking about people that were initially coming in to qualify, now to get to the season 1 finals, you're only going to have so many more opportunities, Runekeeper, because you're not just playing for that $10,000 prize pool. You're also playing for that shot at the finals in December.
That's 100% right, Nate. We're coming in here. Everybody is looking to get that $10,000, right? You've got to play conservatively, but you've also got to put those kills on the board. You don't want to win the game and come out with 3 kills and then say second place guys have got 11 kills over top of you. That's a huge point discrepancy. You've got to come out today and you've got to play the game, but you've got to play it smart. And like Odin said here, somebody's got to go home today, right? None of these guys are all going to make it to the end. There's a finals for the reason, and these guys are going to have to show why they're here, why they deserve to be in the finals, and we are going to see some great tech today. I think we're going to see some awesome combos, and I'm excited, especially for trios. I want to see how these guys are using their ultimates together. I want to see how the teams are choosing to engage, and when they disengage, it's going to be a really good day. I'm super excited to see these matches.
Hell yeah, I could not agree more, and love you bringing that up too. We're going to be starting again with the solos for the first half of today's broadcast, then we'll be moving on to the trios, so we'll have 2 matches of each, just like last week, and we're still going to be having those big lobbies, except for it's just 4 of them this time. So, as you talked about, the players that were dominating last week are all going to have to go up against each other. Odin, do you have expectations for us as we get ready to start things off?
Yeah, we were discussing this a little bit, like an aside beforehand. You know, when we watched the European games, we noticed, we saw the trend that it was super aggressive and people were playing for kills and just trying to pop off. But now that we're getting a little more serious, and like we mentioned, these are qualifiers for those big finals in December. You know, you're not just playing for the 10 grand now, you're playing for that 100 grand in December. I think we're going to see more conservative play. People are going to be a little bit more careful. We're not going to quite see these, like, 8-player final zones. It's going to be more like 16 and 20.
Yes, and I think that, of course, because you're talking about that risk, right? Especially since everybody in the lobby is also going to be that good. We do have the format to pull up for everybody to see. And as I was saying, we have the semifinals today, going through 15 players from each of the 4 lobbies will progress to find out with the top 60 players in NA next week competing for $10,000. And of course, that finale spot cannot dismiss. It's multiple seasons, but there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you could say, that everybody's going to be trying to race for. And later on today, we'll have 2 lobbies of 20 for the trios, and 10 teams from each of those lobbies will progress for the team finals, which we'll also have next week. So a lot of money on the line, and there's 3 seasons of this. This is only 1 of 3 before the big finale. So if you're a competitive NARAKA player, if you're looking at this, you think you've got what it takes, right? This is just an awesome opportunity for everybody in the whole scene.
Oh yeah, changing amount of money if they actually, 10 grand for some people, that makes all the difference in the world. But then we're also talking about that money in December. I mean, there's a lot on the line. There's a lot to play for. That's no small amount of money.
Yeah, and we're going to take a quick look at the scoring process just one more time in case anybody's curious. For the solos, first place will net you 30 points, but you'll also get 2 points per kill. So this was the biggest difference when we were talking about the way that things were set up for the solos. You get that little bit of extra points. Of course, you don't have that team to rely on, so racking it up, but also making it really far towards those final couple of placements. That's got to be everything for these players competing today, Runekeeper.
Oh, absolutely. These solo players are going to be out here today, and they're going to be looking for those placements, but like I said earlier, they're going to be looking for these kills too, right? You're going to want to find those solid engagements and be able to jump in and quickly secure a kill so that you can rack those points up, so that even if you don't get to the top, which is not a guarantee, like we said, you're talking potentially 20 to 26 players in the last zone. It's going to get very hectic. Not even a player mistake, just getting zoned out in a way that you weren't expecting could cost you those big points. So you're definitely going to be wanting to look to pick up those kills to kind of pad your score a little bit. And I'm interested to see, right? Do you go for some of those kills early on and try to rat towards the end once you've racked up some kills? Or do you rat early hoping to get those points and then in the final circle show everybody what you've got and try to pick off those kills to get those extra points and maybe clutch the match out and get one heck of a banger of a score to rock the day out on?
I think great questions asked, and we're about to get the answers. I'll hand it over to you, gentlemen, as I believe the game is just about ready for us to start.
Let's jump right in. We talked about this before, and we mentioned that, you know, the super aggressive style that we saw early on, even in the beginning of this tournament, when people knew they were playing for that money, there's still that feeling that it hasn't quite set in yet. But now that we're on week 2, I think we're gonna see a lot more careful play.
I have to concur with you, and it looks like we're gonna go ahead and jump into the game here. Looking at the lobby here, looks like we got a lot of people dropping in Celestra. Wreckage Plane's pretty hot. Soul Jade Mine, very interesting to see so many players down there when they usually opt for something like Still Tide or Sunwing's Rest here. It's gonna be curious to see how the zone plays out.
Yeah, already some fights breaking out around the main hotspot areas there. A couple people dropping out. I mean, the solos, we see this very commonly. A lot of teams just kind of dropping out in the corners. You've got these people that are just trying to get, you know, the loot from the outskirts, like the wineries and these small buildings. It's just enough to get themselves started.
Peter here going in on Pooby. Pooby catching a charge, right click, chasing him down here, hitting him with the toothpick like we were talking about earlier. Peter trying to use the TP, actually catches the lantern, doesn't set it off though. Peter looking like they're going to make a clean escape.
That could have been a critical error if you connected with that lantern. That is a huge stun, not to mention all the damage that you take, and you're just basically asking to die for free.
Absolutely. Reg here going in. Seems like they could clutch this kill here. Doesn't look like they have the teleport. Reg is going to get the hit. 1 tick of life left on Legos TTV here. Anything will do it. Can Legos get away from Red?
He's literally just one touch. No, he's not going to make it out. Finally gets caught out of the air by that katana. Follow up at the right click. So good at chasing people down.
Catches him with the emote too. Says, I'm dominating this lobby. Get out of here.
The shadow will shorten.
Nice little charge up. Answer back there. Getting followed up on by the katana, but has the presence of mind to go for the hyper armor. Ooh, Flame Dave eating some huge damage in response, though. Looking for the Dragon Rush.
Goes for the Dragon Rush, doesn't connect, does get the TP away. Avo here looking to catch them with the bow, not quite connecting on the shot. Flame might be able to get away using the grapple here, using the spear to get that extra momentum, but Avo catches the shot!
What a shot! That was disgusting.
The shadow.
That's why you love to see the bow. I mean, it's such a good weapon. You get those kills like 9 times out of 10. It's so consistent.
Oh, it's very consistent. Hella Ramen here also coming in with the spear. Looks like a spear fight between them and Dent here. Third party coming in from unknown name here. We see the toothpick coming out. Dev is going to ult. Hella Ramen opting to save their ult.
Not up yet. Looks like they got about 9% left. Dante, I think, probably just maybe had some more rage in. But, oh, Hella, maybe going to be able to pop it? No. Okay. Yeah, there we go. He gets
away
just out
from
of the
the
combo.
Nezha. Just barely. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get away from Unknown. Dent coming in saying, that's my kill. Doesn't quite secure it from Unknown here. Dent coming in saying, I'm going to take it back on you, Unknown. In with the spear. Unknown jumping around with the toothpick here. Using that charged right click. Try to get that hyper armor.
Yeah, both of them just looking for something to get started there because they're both full health, relatively untouched, despite the fact that Dento was kind of in the mix there. Ended up getting out pretty much scot-free. You see the activation of the Tarka-G ult is actually very strong because you can use it while you're getting stuck in the Nez's Might, which is one of the few things in this game that'll actually help you escape. So I think he was trying to hold on to it and use it there. Ended up not needing it.
Ban Solo here hitting the lovely uppercut onto Scam here with the longsword. Again, we're seeing a lot of the longsword come out here. Skadam, though, catching the grapple through the window with the perfect greatsword swing, breaking the window as they travel out. You couldn't have asked for a better grapple.
Look at this dude schmoving. He just got up through the window twice. That's actually really hard to do. I'm kind of impressed, I'm not gonna lie.
Likewise, catching those windows perfectly, especially damaging them, but it looks like it's not going to matter because Ban's here, catches him with a charge right click, Scam, one hit, and there he goes down.
Ban just chased him down. He didn't care. He's like, oh, you think you're fancy, huh?
Come and join this battle, friends.
Ray here, in on kill, gets the stone form into the double left click. We do see the Turgold come out. Ray gets the grapple into the fireball, though.
That's going to space him out just enough for him to get a heal off. Nope, instead just going to continue running. Rai using the grapple flying to chase him down. Not going to let him get away for free. He does have the Temo Colt, so if he connects with kill, he probably just lock him down and finish it.
Kills NC, managing to get the shield pot off. Ray still looking for it here, but he comes back in. Looking for his own fireball for the second time. Catches the parry. He gets the punish. Knock up into the dagger. Double left click, right clicks. Ray in a precarious situation. He
nice.
gets
He
the
answers
ult
back
off,
with the Wind
though.
Prison, though. Yeah, that's going to be huge for him. He can turn around right here, but no
Ray,
connection.
no secondary melee weapon. Oh, he does pull the katana out, though, and actually secures the kill.
Look at how fast he turned that around. That is how strong that Temok Wind Prison is in those 1v1 situations. Actually, it looked like his opponent was able to get out, but I think he made a mistake and stepped back in.
I think he did too. It looked like he turned back into that. I think maybe he thought he didn't have the second melee weapon because he didn't pull it out immediately and made the mistake, and Ray called his bluff, pulled the katana out, and just went ahead and ended him. Dent going down to make mix here.
That was the Hail Mary. He was on 1 HP and just slaughtering MacMix, but MacMix popped the ult, and that hyper armor lets him just kind of hold that answer back with a hit of his own. He was 1 HP, kind of. I mean, he must have thought there was no way he was getting away from that situation because he committed.
Oh yeah, bad place to find yourself in, but that's Karumi, right? You get that ult, you get that hyper armor up, you get that heal, you get the second opportunity to go, I made a mistake, but I can stay and commit and see if you can't make something happen, and sometimes it pays off, and it paid off for MacMix here.
It certainly got its own uses. You know, we just saw the Temok ult just completely turn a fight around, but Temok ult, you know, that's another ult that you can use because of its startup hyper armor. You can use it while you're in combo. But if you're already low and you're trying to use it and you don't land the perfect angle, it's not going to save you because they can just continue fighting you inside your wind prison.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to jump over here. Ryuing and Verse duking it out. Verse with the signature bow. He likes to get those shots off before he jumps in and commits. We see him doing this all the time in the scrims and the land tourneys, or the in-houses, sorry.
Likewise, Ryuing returning the favor with the signature musket he likes there. Both of them opting not to engage. Neither of them caught those shots they were looking for. There we go. Averse coming in here with the spear. Ryuing looking to get the counter off. Averse baits it out, though. Ryuing here in a bad situation does pop the Tarka ulti here. Looking to catch.
So many layers to that mind game. Ryuing held it, knowing that Averse was charging, and Averse said, he was like, I'm just going to sit here and charge it too. Ryuing jumping out at the same time that he did the full charge cancel.
Ryuing here looking to catch that elbow right now, too.
Oh yeah, Averse not going to give it to him, though. He's jumping around. He's like, nah, I'm not getting put in the infinite.
Exactly. Absolutely. The chase down here, though, he does catch a verse there with the katana in the air for just a split second. Looks like they're both going to opt to reset.
Yeah, that was sketchy. It looked for a second like he might connect with the palm there, but Verse now following him back up. The ult's over. He's going to try to hit a shot with the bow and then go in. That's what he likes to do.
Ryuing at the disadvantage, right? Doesn't have his ult anymore. His F is back up, but he knows that a verse here does have his teleport, does have his ult. Famitsu looking like they're third partying in onto a verse there. Ryuing's going to get away. Light Hypernova trying to get the pot off, doesn't. Gets parried.
No.
Fleckmess going to hit him with the full charge right click of the katana there. Manages to get away, but are still on them. Teleports back to their umbrella. Looks to pick the spear back up. Goes for the longsword. Fleck still on there, chasing hard.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a misplay from Fleck. Fortunately, picking up the kill because he was just so good at chasing him down. But Fleck actually, because of the parry, we went for that full charge attack. He could have gotten the follow-up instantly for free because it's not like his opponent could parry right there. He was barehanded. And I think Fleck just kind of forgot about that for a second. But following it up with very good movement, sticking to his opponent, finds the kill. And now he's schmooving.
Check out Twilight Knight over here. Looks like they're being chased here at range. Not opting to pot up. Still rocking white armor. Catches Nooms right out of the air with the dagger here.
That's some Assassin's Creed stuff right there. He just popped up off the wall and put him in a combo.
This is where the dagger
what
shines,
is this?
right? In these tight kind of corners, fighting on the side of the wall here. Nooms using that F ability here to zone Twilight Knight. Perfect use of that. Gets the double pot off. Twilight opting to go for the pistol here, misses the shot, misses the dagger click, catches the charge right click, misses the double parry, and Nooms is going to claim the kill.
What did I just watch? That was amazing. He just sat there committed with the full charge for the pistol, and it looked like he was going to get the shot, but I think the little stuck and sway there actually made him miss. That's so frustrating to deal with when you're stuck inside that the Yodahime F there. He did it to him first, and then he had it done back to him, and unfortunately he didn't have the answer for it.
Absolutely. Unknown here, getting gone on by Ban solo queue here. Looks like Ban rocking the katana, trying to catch the aerial on him, actually managing to stick onto this Matari, using some very good movement here, catching the right grapples, not dropping it, catches him out of the air. Looks like they're going to get the aerial. Gets the teleport to survive getting the last hit, but is going to get caught out by the charged right click and go down.
That is, without a doubt, the best tech chase in the game. That charge vertical is so strong, it just pops people out of the sky whenever they try to grapple. You get that huge knockdown if they don't die. I was surprised there. Ben didn't do a whole lot of damage with the uppercut combo. Either he doesn't have any attack jades or his opponent was stacking on melee resist.
It looked like to me that the Matari actually managed to get the teleport out towards the second hit, so only ate the first piece of damage from it, and that right click at the end of that combo is really where the most of that damage comes out.
Yeah, that's splat. Ooh, 60 over here getting jumped on by multiple people. He's about to get rolled up on Ban too. Oh, what? Ban just lets him go? Ooh. That's not even a Matari. Interesting.
Ban sees a verse low here, maybe looking to pick out some of the better competition. Sees Unknown here, jumps in on them as well.
Yeah, we got quite the brawl breaking out over here. 60 went back into the fight, immediately almost taken out again, having to back off the heal. Seen a lot of greatsword, which I'm very happy to see. You know, we knew we were going to see a lot of long swords. Definitely the most comfortable, well-rounded weapon at the moment, especially with that toothpick combo. But
Absolutely.
Greatswords, we've talked about it so many times. The greatswords 50-50, the mix-ups that the greatswords have, and all the mind games. It's so hard to deal with sometimes.
Absolutely. It's easily punishable as well, but if you're playing the right mind games, it's very hard to follow it up and punish it very quickly. And then when you're stuck into that stone form, right, only way to cancel it is to do the jump, and it's very hard to keep that mindset sometimes.
Just a little break from the action here. Ben just checking out the grass, healing up, thinking about his next move.
This is a very aggressive area right now, considering we're only on what third zone close at the moment.
You know, the winery is one of those zones that we see a lot of convergence happening around, and I'm not that surprised to see all those people here, but Ooh, Bane connecting with that nice combo. Verse on the back foot now, but the ult makes it really hard to chase her.
Ban accidentally throwing that grapple out to the wrong area there, lets a verse get away. He knows the verse is going to get away, so he goes to look for this, but Avocado is going to drop into the middle of this crazy mix-up. The Bane's Breath, Avocado in a very good situation. Everybody else is going to be forced to back off here or potentially have to fight inside that Bane's Breath.
The Bane's Breath's over soon. I think it said either 8 seconds to end or 8 seconds to start. I could tell. Oh, no, 8 seconds to start. So he wasn't in danger just yet, but now it's bursting, and it looks like Avocado's going to pick up that Morus for free, even though he already has a gold weapon and gold armor.
All these players in a very bad situation. The zone's closing on the back of them. They have no choice but to go through that Bane's Breath. We catching up with Dreamzy here. Out in the zone, trying not to run into this cluster of players that are in front of him. Knows he's mispositioned a little bit here. Trying to hug the edge of the zone without getting caught out, it looks like.
How did he not see him? The amount of times we watch this kind of thing happen where like people brushing shoulders with each other, they just don't notice it because the foliage is so dense. I mean, look at this map. It's beautiful. There's a lot of things to keep you distracted. You don't notice the Yoda-Hime sneaking up into a bush behind you.
It's a PSTV here, being chased out by Mino here. Peter comes in looking for a piece of the action as well. Gets the teleport up here, trying to get away, but the grapple comes out. Peter gets the parry, does get the punish. It's PSTV
the
in a very
combo.
bad situation.
So
gets
much
the
damage.
telly, stealth off. Does It's PST get away?
He gets out here? The teleport. I'm Matari, man. The only character that could live in those situations. I mean, maybe a Kurumi ult with an umbrella out. Who knows?
Misses the pot here, though, in a very precarious situation.
He's just hanging out over here, healing up while everybody else is over there murdering each other.
The shadow will shortly
There was somebody on the other side of the wall didn't even notice him there. He was there, and the thing is, that person definitely looked in and saw all the fighting going on there and just said, "No, no."
You know,
we go into the zone.
We talked about players playing a lot more conservatively this time around, but it looks like they've come out to play today. I don't know if maybe it's a confidence boost from coming out and qualifying last week, but these players are here to fight. Ban catching the parry again, but misses the punish on it. Trying to fight Mac here in their own circle.
That's a huge drop.
Ban swapping to the longsword here, getting the uppercut combo. Max just barely knocking him back. Mac, no abilities here. Walks onto Doex. It looks like they might go down. 1 tick of HP.
What?
Gets the grapple and they go down
no.
as Ban catches him with the aerial left click.
I thought he was getting out there for a second. He jumped up there, and it looked like Ban and Doc were going to jump in and fight each other. Oh! Num's getting caught into the Yoto F just around the corner there. No death yet on the kill feed, though.
Ban here showing just how ballsy he is, swapping from a fully healed purple armor in the middle of this fight to a completely broken golden armor, saying, I'm taking the upgrade. I don't care. You're not going to kill me anyway.
You know, despite the aggression, we still see 22 people alive this late into the zone. Look how small this circle is. This is what we expected to see. But the thing is, these players are so good at disengaging. And, of course, we see a lot of Mataris. There's a reason for that. She is kind of the queen of escaping. And it's so hard to lock her down. When you have good movement just on your own as a player and you add that to Matari's kit, she's so slippery. It's just so easy to get out of a lot of situations.
Ban catches Numb out here. Does get the left click into right click combo with the greatsword. Charging the left click into this third party with the Earthshaker. Gets parried, though. Ban gonna take a huge punish from Mino there.
That's so scary to parry Earthshaker, because if you miss that, you just die. I gotta give him props for going for the parry. Oh, Ban.
Peter here catching Ban into the zone. Ban does manage to find it. Yeah. Does manage to find a good place to pot up here in this final zone. Can we talk about this final zone for a second here, Odin? I mean, what a place for this to end, right?
This is I mean, we got a good mix here. I'm curious to see exactly where it's going to close. Okay, so we're going to have this building in here, and one of the things that you see, okay, exactly what Hero's doing right now, hanging out on the roof. This is super common strategy. When you have one of these buildings, you just wait. And you just hold on until someone comes in, you charge up that scale rush. And, like, even if you're listening for it, it's kind of hard to tell where it's coming from.
100% Ban still in a very precarious situation. Everybody trying to chase him down here. He's looking very juicy. Blood in the water. All these players are sharks, right? That's big points. Ban is a great player. They know if they get him out here, it's a better opportunity for them to win the game. But he's making work with his footwork here, using that longsword to get the extra movement, throwing those charge right clicks when he needs to, knocking players back. He does get a shield pot off. He gets the second one, it looks like.
Pan was making the movement look completely effortless. He slipped out of all those people over somebody else's head and just pieced out. I can't believe he made it out of there.
A lot of people just trying to throw that poke out here, right? Nobody wanting to hard commit, but this circle getting smaller and smaller. Things are about to get very heated in this final circle.
Wow, Voxel's still on a white armor. Maybe that was a swap, or I'm not sure, but he has a gold katana. Kind of weird to see that combination there. Hero just dancing around the outside right here. This is what we're going to see a lot of, is people just kind of chilling outside of the fights, just outside of commitment range where they can throw those energy waves. Not so when you have the greatsword, though. Very good at chasing now that people got more used to that kid.
Peter catching the parry onto Rewing.
Beauty under fire.
Argon getting saved by the third party from a verse here.
The energy wave just coming through while he was on his wake-up frames. Didn't get hit by it. Rewing 1 HP now, bopping around the back of the wall. Verse trying to chase him down and follow up and get the kill. Finally finds him, takes him out. Rewing, unfortunately, going out there, 15th place.
Yep. Putting up a heck of a fight, though. Getting some good points. Look at Poobie here, just barely sitting in the edge of the zone, not quite taking damage from where he's at, holding that charged right click off the wall.
We got Hero dipping into a bush over here, just chilling out. Maybe doesn't have any healing, or maybe doesn't want to use it to notify anybody nearby. A lot of flames. We see the target GL kind of popping around in the middle there. Poobie into a fight with Avocado on the north side there, using the bell to disengage.
Poobie taking that fire damage, but getting out of there. Catch is unknown here in the corner.
What?
The teleport saving him at the very last. Didn't even look like they had a tick of life left, but Avocado is going to catch him and kill him on the outside. Engaging onto Poobie now. Catches the aerial, gets the left click, but not quite the right click. Poobie is going to monk up here.
Yeah, force of Vajra, he was too low to be stuck in that 50-50 situation, so just use the Vajra reset. Instantly detransforms, but he's not out of the woods yet. He's got a lot of people looking at him because he just kind of set off the signal flare.
Rave here losing their treetop, but knocking another player out of the other tree so they can have their own treetop here.
Poobie getting caught with the charge right click from Avocado there as Peter was getting the combo onto him. Peter now connecting with the Nez's Might or the Dragon Rush into the Nez's Might with that Razor Swift. Such a good Jade.
Do believe that was actually a parry into that. They parried the wave from the longsword there and went straight into Nez's Might.
A very rare sight, yes, to see a longsword wave and get parried in range to actually get a follow-up.
Garden Gnome here, just holding on for dear life. Avocado getting caught out here on the very edge of the circle, teleporting back in.
11 people alive in the zone, 2 quickly going out. Verse and Argon both picking up a kill apiece. Avocado, nice little spot here behind the wall. Using that invis.
Great spot. Hero here trying to get up this tree. Freckles is going to catch on him. This is where everything is going to devolve into absolute madness. The little bit of terrain left here. We're going to see a lot of these charged right clicks from these longswords coming out. Averse getting knocked out here by the bomb. The bomb dropping the bomb in the middle of the circle, but then getting caught in the follow-up onto Argon and trying to get a pot here.
Yeah, Dan Bomb was like full health there, and then all of a sudden he got turned around on. Oh, Argon gets the right click from the Stone Form. This is when we're talking about those mind games from the Greatsword, just totally throwing people off guard. I mean, he died from full health.
Look at Garden Gnome here trying to use this lantern post, get any verticality that they can. Misses the charge right click. Avocado is going to punish it into the uppercut. They use the teleport so they don't get the right click there. Oh, but Garden Gnome's going to catch it. But Ban Solo Q's going to catch Garden Gnome.
Are you kidding me? How is he alive? Wait, where did Ben just go? Ben is in the air using the teleports, or the jumps there, to just stay out of harm's way. How is he still alive?
The bomb trying to get in with this charge. The double right click. DeBomb gets buried, but it doesn't matter. The zone's gonna tick down on Avocado, and DeBomb is gonna claim victory for the first round.
Damn bomb showing off in that final zone. He completely popped off. He was going insane with the great sword, getting all those stone forms into the right clicks. 16k damage, 4 kills there. Very nice showing from him there. That was super dangerous. That parry looked like it was going to be death for him, but the zone was too small at that point. There was nothing that his opponent could do there. Avocado going out in second place.
Wow, what a way for that one to end, too. I love the way that you said it, too. DeBomb dropping the bomb on everybody towards the end of that with a huge amount of damage and kills. And just the way that he zipped in and out of that fight was really fantastic. We've already got the leaderboards up to check out for the results after the first round of solos so far today. And, well, you guys are talking about it. DeBomb, he crushed it, but Avocado got plenty of kills and actually sits atop by 1 point right now, Odin.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The kills are still going to matter. Despite the placement points being so heavily weighted, you still get a lot of points for just being in that top 5. So you can't just go for the kills because you've got somebody like Avocado who went out in second place, but because he had 7 kills, he's now sitting up top. Now, not much of a lead beyond the first couple players, but you see how much that starts to thin out as we move down the list.
Yeah, and Runeslayer, I mean, you're talking about it. Banned Solo Q also had a pretty strong game, the way we got to see him coming in. I recall he had some pretty good usage of the charge vertical in some of those earlier fights. What's your takeaway and thoughts as we've wrapped up this first round?
I mean, just like we were talking about, right? Coming in and that aggression in the end, right? Banned Solo Q coming in, you know, not quite getting to the end of that zone exactly where he wanted to be. Coming out in third, but still pulling up some big points, 6 points above 4th place because he did play aggressively. He went for those kills, even though it risked it for him in the end there, but it's still going to pull out some big points. He's only 3 points behind the lead here. This is exactly what we talked about. I was super happy to see the account out here in this final zone, even with as small was these players trying to play a little bit safe, but the players who just were out there playing aggressively, trying to go for those kills and committing to those engagements, we see them right here at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, just another awesome part of it when we talk about the format differences between the solo and the trios here at the Morus Cup. Getting those kill points ends up having huge impact on the performance and you know, where everybody ends up. Of course, if you're looking at the guys that are at the top 5, you're not super worried about them in terms of moving forward to the next stage. They've already put themselves in a good spot. What's the key to success, do you think, going into the next round, Odin? As far as was there anything that jumped out to you that maybe people are going to be adjusting, playing a little bit safer, or are we going to see a little bit more of that just going ham kind of style?
You know, honestly, the way that everybody played this game is pretty much what we expected to see. A little bit more conservative. There's definitely like that sort of sense of confidence when you have the right gear for the right situation and you know that your movement is up to snuff, especially for people who are playing Atari. You can take a lot of risks as long as you know for a fact that if you're on your toes and you're paying attention to your surroundings, you can get yourself out of a bad situation. So early on, when you're not too worried about there being a ton of players that are coming and swooping for a third party, if you're not in those dense areas, you'll probably see more people being aggressive to try to get those early kills. And then, like Rune said earlier, you know, kill early, play safe in the mid game to the late game, go for that zone.
All right, thank you so much for your insight, gentlemen. We're going to go to a quick break. When we return, the second round of solos here at the Morus Cup. We'll see you in a few. Morus Cup Semi-Finals. We are live here, and we've just you know, we were talking a little bit about this, of course, we had a bit of a schedule snafu. We were going to be on yesterday, so we've had the games played a little bit. But what do you take away so far from what we've seen, Odin, in that first game? And I know you were kind of saying it lined up with our expectations. Is there anything that you want to see still come out of these guys before we move on to the trios?
I think just continuous, consistent performance, same way that they played the game. Obviously, the people that finished out in the top 15 were doing the right thing. They were moving around the map really quickly. We saw some like insane movement coming out from Poobie to slip out of some really slippery situations, some sticky situations. Even though Poobie's playing Monk, you know, not typically known to be a very slippery character, but you know, we see Mataris absolutely everywhere. We're gonna probably see more Mataris. I think people who have Matari pocket picks are gonna pick her to get those placement points to stay in the tournament a little bit longer if they went out early. So probably just gonna see more Matari.
Feel that. I won't pretend I didn't steal a win this week to getting my Matari grind on. Runekeeper, how are we feeling about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there anything that you're looking forward to seeing in a second round here?
Honestly, I'm expecting to see a little more Tarka in this next round. I think Odin's right. A lot of people are going to be chasing those placement points, but those guys who are in the bottom of the list, right, who didn't walk away with any kills, who didn't place well, they're going to need to bring it this game, right? They need to get those big placement points, but it's kind of a risk it for the biscuit kind of situation, if you will, where they need to come in, they need to play aggressively, they need to pick up those extra points from kills and place well if they stand a chance of winning that $10,000, making it to the finals next week. It's their time to shine, so they've got it to do.
Yeah, and I did have one question on that point. Is there anything that you think is possibly being held back for people that are thinking to themselves, I can make it through this stage of the tournament, I have something that I've maybe not seen get discussed as much publicly that I might try to save for those finals? Or are we kind of just seeing everybody bringing out the best expectation we could have? I'll stay with you, Runekeeper.
I think right now we're seeing the best of what everybody has. We kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago. The community's very sharing with tech when they find it out, right? Everyone talks about it. Within the next day, it's spreading through the community. People know what's going on. It's kind of still the first tournament, the first competitive season, right? I don't think anybody's holding anything back because they want to show people what they can do. This is the time when you're talking about a new game to make that name for yourself, right? So you don't want to hold anything back because you want to bring your A game and show people that you're not just here because it's the early season and there's not as big of a competitive scene. You're here to compete and you're gonna stay here to compete.
I love that. Excellent response. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I believe the game is ready, so let's see who brings their A game.
Let's hop over.
Ooh, interesting drops here. Still a lot of people at Soul Jade. I'm very surprised. We see Tinsel in here getting a nice uppercut into that Viper F you want to see. Does punish that. The Yodo drops down. Can they find him before they get away? Gets the grapple, but into the Yodo F, using the F to zone here. Tinsel coming around the edge, using the Hyper Armor to get a hit here.
That's really interesting, that interaction, because he kept clashing with it, but he was getting the focus attack off first. It almost looked like it was like a counter hit in a fighting game where you get hit at the same time you hit your opponent, but you recover faster, so you're able to keep the pressure up. I don't know if Tinsel was doing that intentionally, if he's like got some secret tech that we don't know about where you can just keep fighting inside that card plate, but it was looking like it was going his way for a moment there.
Absolutely. Griffith here being caught out by Viego and Ban Solo in a very bad situation. These are two players you do not want to be on the receiving end of in solos. Ban is going to get the chase down here. Griffith, no place to go in this building.
Look at
trying
this
to use some tech, though, and move out of the way.
I am amazed at how slippery Griffith is. I mean, this is like, he's just jumping around him. He's dancing on him. Ban had to run away after he was just chasing him down so hard.
Ban not in a great situation. Griffith actually on top of this right now. Ban getting some pokes in with his little toothpick here, though. Griffith still aggressively engaging on the worst end of this now, though. Gonna be
finally getting the
comboed out
advantage
here.
to turn it around, though. He's gonna get the one more hit on a Griffith. Griffith was looking for the charge right click. Not gonna find it. Ban Solo made the best out of a bad situation there.
Absolutely. Going for the hyper armor there was really all Griffith could do, and Ban knew that. Using those shift dashes to get out of the way and keep throwing those left clicks so that he doesn't end up getting parried, especially with Griffith throwing the parry out quite a lot in that fight there. Playing the safe play. It's a lot slower to throw that damage out, but it's a lot more consistent and a lot more safe.
Yeah, I'd like to see... Oh, here we go. We're jumping over Stone Waste, who just tried to use the parry onto Dento. Dento, though, reading it and dodging the side, following up with the hits from the long sword. So much damage from that gold long sword. Uncontested almost. He did lose a little bit of armor there, but pretty convincing kill there from Dento.
Stoneways, yeah, going down to Dento there. We see both of them here do have the parry. I'm of a molding opinion on that. I love the parry. I think in competitive it can, in 1v1 specifically, give you a huge advantage, but you can't discount the fireball and how much utility you get from it either.
Yeah, the thing with the parry is that I think a lot of people try to use it defensively or to break out of combos. One thing I found that's very effective is because of the way your trades work. Speaking of trades over here, Fleckless jumping out, teleporting, but looking to follow back up. Gold longsword on Fleckless as well. We've got a couple of lucky players out here today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But going back to the Tarka. Oh, what in the... A little bit of a... Nice shot.
Fleck catches that shot and engages here. The Yodo is going to ult knowing that they are in a bad situation. No armor. Gotta go for the hyper armor on the ult there. Fleck looking to punish. Manages to catch it. The double left click. Charged left click. Those are very hard to hit, but it looks like it was consistent enough for them to take the kill.
Ooh, speaking of the charge left click, Fumetsu was just charging it up and Clash there. Just barely missing the kill there. No connection on the grapple. 2 in a row missed. His prey might get away here. Yeah, he's going to get a heal up. Fumetsu definitely can chase up the tree with that buffed left click. No, but a bit of probably going to get out here. Fumetsu has to weigh his options whether or not it's worth continuing to chase this kill without knowing where everyone else is.
Talking about those charged left clicks with the longsword as well, recently found out last week that the right click charge on those longswords actually prioritizes over the left click. The left click very inconsistent, very high risk, high reward though, and the fact that they were able to land that, very good.
Oh, nice. See there, Ryuing got hit by the Dragon Rush. That was going to go into a full combo, Nez's might, but Ryuing recognized it, popping the inner fire there. Maybe going to be able to get the disengage.
Ulting here, definitely looking for the disengage. Sabi opting to take the reset, but still chasing, knowing you can follow the fire here. Decides against it, and looks like they're going to go ahead and get out and just take the full reset.
Yeah, interesting choice there, but, you know, we talked about players being a little bit more careful trying to get those placement points, especially if they didn't have a strong showing first game. They need those top placement points. We just missed Poopy taking out Joke in there. Ben Solo popping up on the till to me on the kill feed there.
Oops, someone's angry at me.
See a lot of these bow shots going off of players trying to poke each other down before they engage, right? You want that advantage before you engage. That extra damage, popping somebody's shields off with a bow is huge because you know coming into the fight, you have the advantage and you can press it.
Argon using a little bit of great sword surfing here. Love to see it. Maybe going to get an engagement over here to Skadam, who's looking to connect with the bow shot. This is very typical of this mid-game style of play right now in NARAKA solos. So
Fumetsu's going to miss the charge right click. If he doesn't pot now, he is going to die before he gets to the zone. Starts it too late and goes down to the zone.
Relay using the TP to disengage and then pop in the pot. It was almost like a troll kill. That's you gotta feel bad about that one. He was just a second away from securing it, and I think the split-second decision making wasn't in his favor to get that pot off. But yeah, we're talking about those bows. Very common in this mid-game sort of, like, you know, the zone one's closing, so we're still early, kind of mid-game. You see a lot of these long-range fights where people try to get the bow shots and then follow up with a connection.
Nums here using that F to zone out, get the pot without having to reset and be aggressive. This is what we like to see from the Yodos here, right? We kind of talked about it a little bit last week, why Jaxi is swapped from his Viper main, why he's favoring Yodo, and the ability to use that F to zone and control the battlefield is absolutely huge in solos right now.
Yeah, Yodo's ult is not very strong in solos because of how prevalent Matari is. She's able to just float up in the air and basically make the ult useless. But the F is so strong. Numbs getting the follow-up there as Unknown here was trying to heal up, pot up, do the little duck and sway, but doesn't help you dodge the uppercut from the spear. Gets the aerial combo following up.
Volder here taking shots from Pooby, but Pooby in the zone. Volder in a very good position to escape this, actually.
Yeah, disengage there. Pooby maybe not noticing that Relay was there. It's kind of hard to see players in the zone sometimes, depending on where you are if you're outside. Whoa, Bane Breath popping over here as Legos gets engaged on by Ryu and getting the nice uppercut combo.
This is, of course, a Ryu's Bane's Breath, but Leo says, I'm going to go for the ult here, just on the edge of the Bane's Breath. Ryu opting to jump back into their own Bane's Breath, which just now ends. Legolas missing the entire ult. Ryu getting the grapple and engaging, catching the full left-click combo. But Legolas using that F, getting the teleport into those mix-up. Ryu coming in aggressively using Tarka's parry here, getting the elbow. Legos in a very bad situation. Ryu sticking on it. Leos using the movement as much as possible, just barely not being stuck. But Ryu's going to get the charged right click, and Legos is going to go down.
Yeah, that use of the parry there from Tarka, it's like you expect most Tarkas to be running Fireball. So when one does pull out a parry in a snap situation like that, he was on Wake Up, and he knew that his opponent was going to look for the pressure. Didn't want to go for the focus attack, so he just said, hey, I'm going to throw up the parry. Either you hit this, I'll cancel, or I can, I could pop the F into it, or I can jump cancel it and then go for my own pressure. Verse hanging out up on top of the cliff here, scoping out the battle, deciding whether or not he wants to get involved. Of course, pulling out the bow.
Classic Averse here. 32 players still left alive. See the fireball coming out from 60 here. Again, aggressively trying to play this Tarka, kind of like I was talking about before, looking to pick up those kills, hard engage.
Yeah, the fireball is very good for a number of reasons. You can knock people away from you if they're trying to chase. It's very good if you knock people out of the sky with it, when they grapple up under a tree or something. It's a very good way to fill the space in between combos. 60, though, getting engaged on by a Verse who landed the bow shot and now smells blood in the water.
Averse making the chase, but 60 here gets the stone form. Is going to miss with it, though. Averse expecting it to come out here. Again,
yeah,
I
like that choice from Averse to not try to go immediately for the parry and instead just dodge away and look at what his opponent was doing.
Averse here, though, looks like they might pick up the kill on Reg. Do they have the teleport out? They just barely missed the teleport out. Reg is going to get back in here. He's going to get a pot off for sure. Hitting himself with that domain expansion, saving himself so he can get a reset in the middle of this fight.
Yeah, Zephyr Prison's so very good at in those situations. And even with Mathari being able to go through the walls, you can just step in and out, and eventually she runs out of ways to catch you.
Reg here looking to get some damage out. Both of these players very low. Still, 6 is trying to chase Averse here. Doesn't recognize that Reg is here.
I think he's just tunneled in on a Verse, but he might be able to take a Verse out. Very high-profile player. If he can secure this kill early on, that's going to be a very good look for him. Nice connection there. Yeah, he gets the grapple left click into the combo. It's a guaranteed hit on the follow-up there if you're close enough when you hit that grapple left click. And now Rai was trying to sneak up and steal the gold. But 60 kind of had that presence of mind, knew he was there, and now putting Rai on the back foot.
Yeah, Rai making a little bit of a player mistake there, greeting for the gold, and it looks like it might cost him here. 60 using the fireball to his advantage. Rai here throws the tornado up, but he uses the hyper armor, and 60 is going to take him down.
Yeah, that's the trick with Temulk, and if you guys watch the weekly tournaments or the in-house stuff, we saw some tech coming out from K-Taco to kind of play around that. Pooby, though, on the run here from Mino, who thought maybe that he was going to release a charge right-click at him.
Pooby dancing around, using that movement we talked about that Pooby's so good at. Gets the bell, but Mino reads it. Pooby forced to go for the reset with the monk ult. Instantly goes back down, goes for the pot. Mino's going to grapple in. Pooby cancels it with a grapple of his own. Catches the charge right click into the aerial.
No, didn't finish.
Mino misplays it, but gets the punish on the parry anyway, and Pooby goes down.
Namza looking like he's going to follow up the kill here on a Viego.
Attack our enemies.
Nums again using that F to zone their opponent here. Catches the parry, gets the punish into
That's
the riposte.
so much
Uppercut.
damage.
The left click does not get the right click. Viego might get out, uses the TP here. Nums is going to zone that sword off on him. The third party comes in. Nums now in a bad situation. Hero looking to pick up some points here
Hero,
and
disgusting
claims it.
shots. Yeah, this man's an FPS player. He came from Apex. He just put that whole thing into him. I don't think he missed a single shot. That was insane.
Don't see that very often coming out of the repeating crossbow. I can tell you hitting those shots on some of these pro players here who have that movement and tracing them like that is very hard.
Yeah, the mobility in this game makes it kind of difficult to track with the repeater. Even if you're very competent at aiming, it's hard to keep up with people if they mix up their movement. And I mean, man, that was really nice all around from Hero there.
Viego here possibly looking to catch Hero out now that they've got their own reset. Hero saving Viego's life potentially in that situation as well.
Yeah, so now while we've got a little bit of downtime, I wanted to just mention, you talked about the Tarka being a more popular pickup, the Fireball being so aggressive, but the offensive parry is something that we don't really see a lot. But when used properly, you get your own combo off. Your opponent gets into a situation where they're sort of in wake up, or you're tech chasing and you're just looking for an opportunity to start your next combo. A lot of the top players will default to just looking for those charged right clicks to answer back of their own on wake up to give them the hyper armor to escape some of the cheesier combos. If you throw a parry out after the Tarka parry after your own combo, it catches a lot of people off guard because you immediately answer back with that follow-up palm, and it's a full combo off of that.
Absolutely. Ban Solo catching Flex out here. Flex using the teleport to mix things up, knows there's other players around, trying to get Ban off of them here, but Ban is not having it. Tunnel visioning onto Flex, catches the charge right click. Flex still trying to move out. 60 just being ignored by Ban here. Flex in a very bad situation. 60 potentially saving him with the fireball there. On to Ban Solo. Ban catching the charge right click. Flex getting the reset here. 60 getting
got
parried. Using the F to get away here just barely. Looking
That
for a
was
kill
so
in the
close.
kill feed on the right hand side here. We don't see one coming out. Looks like 60 is going to get away. Velcross in a very bad situation here.
This is sketchy. Oh, just at the edge of the zone there. He was using a look at that. He was using the ult to try to zone him out and keep him in the zone. If he got the knockdown, that was a guaranteed kill. If the damage itself didn't kill him, it would have the zone would have killed him. But almost going down, kind of getting singed there. We're going to see a lot of resets now because we're coming up to the final zone where we still have 23 players left alive. No surprise, really. Again, we figured we were going to see a lot more conservative play, a lot of players who are so good at moving and escaping fights.
DeBomb here trying to engage with that fireball aggressively here. Catches Gardner out. Gets the left click. Doesn't charge the hold, and it gets parried immediately using the F to reset. Grabs his longsword and is back in this fight if he wants to be.
Yeah, that ult, people now knowing that ult has the hyper armor and lets you get out of so many of those sketchy situations with knockdown. It works essentially the same way as the Monk Bell, the one that allows you to use it while you're getting hit, except you have the ult damage reduction and hyper armor, so you can run away immediately. You put that fire trail down, and honestly, sometimes you can put yourself in a situation where you immediately dash around and follow up with the palm, put them into a full combo.
Absolutely, it can be used very aggressively and turn the tide of a fight. Like you said, 60 here, still in it, did get the reset, is on Flex now, though.
A lot of tree point going to be happening over here as we come up to the south side of Still-Tide Temple.
Very different ending zone from last game here. DJ still getting put to the edge by Tinsel, not quite able to get the grapple and get back in, goes down to the zone, and Tinsel claims the kill.
Yeah, well, actually, this is an interesting zone because we saw this when we watched the EU Cup a few weeks ago, the EU event. We saw the zone ending over here, and there's a lot of interesting verticality. 60 getting comboed. Nice moves there from Fleckless, swapping to the greatsword. Huge plays.
Absolutely massive. The swap to the greatsword there. A lot of people discount weapon swapping, but changing up your tactics in the middle of a fight throws players off, throws their entire momentum out of whack, and it's very hard to recover from sometimes.
Yeah, the longsword being such a mainstay in everybody's arsenal right now means you're always looking for those charged right clicks to follow your wake-up options. So when you're looking for that, and then all of a sudden a greatsword comes out, and that timing changes, and you eat so much damage for guessing wrong, you just get destroyed.
Velcross and Viego going in near to each other. Somebody coming in from the side with the flamer. Mino looks like they're going to go down to ban solo here.
What is going on here? Ban's just going to get left alone in the house here as some people are duking it out outside. Cops called. They're going to split it up as the zone is now pushing them in.
Ban huge there, right? Gets left behind, gets to able to pick the body, goes from 2 pots to 13 shield pots. In the final zone here, those resources are going to be paramount to staying alive when you're dashing in and out of those fights. Vel trying to get the ult off here, zoning. Viego playing very well, getting caught at the end here though.
The flamer from the top from Argon though.
Argon from the top rope with the flamer just spraying everybody down.
Ban does end up picking up the kill over there on the other side. We've got 1 health left on Viego, who is invis. Sabi Sabi not able to find him in the chaos.
Argon making very good use of this flamer to zone players out, deal some damage, and save resources.
Yeah, flamethrower is so strong in these final zones because you just don't, when you're getting hit by it or when you're shooting it even, you really don't see the range it has. It's so terrifying because it can hit people from a really safe distance. Viego there was 1 hit from death. Managed to recover. Relay, ooh, getting chased down by Argon. The Phoenix Blast coming out to interrupt the chase down, but Viego sees him. Is he going to be able to get away? The flight from the longsword, keeping him in the game for a few seconds longer.
Relay trying very hard here. Argon coming in with that flamethrower like we talked about. Relay opting to just continue to run here, trying to use these grapples, using as much of the longsword movement as they can get out of it, just dodging around, looking for a place to find a pot. They go for it, but it doesn't pay off. Argon is on their tail and claims the kill.
That was absolutely ridiculous. Argon never gave him a minute to breathe. He was just trying to, he slipped away behind the statue there, and I thought he was fine. I mean, it's hard to even say about there. Damn bomb getting caught with a headshot. Nearly knocked out of the tree there, having to jump down where everybody else is. Now, maybe on the back foot.
Gets potted up, use the fireball there so they can get the other pot. Gets the full reset out of it. Smart use of the fireball here.
Yeah, threatening that space against Argon, who is looking to engage. Nice connection there. Gets a knockdown on the right click from the greatsword. No follow-up, though. A little bit hard to follow up if you don't just go for the greatsword knockdown repeatedly. Fan Bomb knowing that, delaying his tech and dashing out. Popping that ult.
We're going to see those fireballs come out. Looks like he does have the Blackout Vulcan. Opting to go away and try to get the reset. Argon just controlling this little zone down here. Anybody who comes down, Argon just threatening the space. The bomb coming back in.
Damn Bomb wants some revenge after Argon harassed him out of the zone now. Ooh, nice connection on that fireball there to Voxel. Is going to hit that burn. He can follow up. Voxel in a pretty tough spot now. The flamethrower is coming out.
Into the left click. We're going to see the ult. Does Damn throw the flamer out. Everybody in that zone is in a bad position. Avocado with a flamer as well. This is the most flamethrowers I think I've ever seen in a final zone.
Look at the spread. There's so many people on the side of that cliff. They can't get up because everybody's just harassing each other. Voxel finally finding a second to breathe up in the tree there, but not for long as somebody's right below him looking for the kill. Everyone's really low here, and they're all looking for the resets. We're going to see if people continue to be aggressive or allow the resets to happen.
Join the fray and I'll up your pay.
The bomb getting chased here. Catches the parry on the wave, but ults out knowing that they didn't get the full parry. Not able to fully punish that.
Seeing that hyper armor come into play so many times with the Tarka ult, but now he's stuck in the corner.
Bomb stuck down below. Still got the ult though, using the movement he best he can, but he gets caught out of the air. Damn Bomb very low. The grapple's inbound. Flamer on him. Where does he go?
He's
Literally
still alive,
one
clinging
tick.
to health with 1 HP. Avocado switching to the Flamer, gonna finally finish him off.
I love this part.
Dan Bomb, he never caught a break. He made the decision to go chase Argon, and it was just lights out from that point forward. Fleckless picking up a kill on a Tinsel there in the chaos on top of the roof.
Hero getting a good uppercut on the Avocado. Avocado opting to teleport. Just go ahead and get out of the situation.
Did I just see a teleport kill?
I think you might have.
Argon getting the kill onto Voxel with the bow. We've got this house coming into play. Is anybody going to secure the inside, sit up on the roof, and wait for those? Okay, it looks like Avocado taking possession of the house. Now you have to deal with getting in through those choke points while Avocado attacks. So he's just sitting pretty right now.
Avocado with a Flamer as well, too. Very easily he can hold this house here. Opting to try to get the repair out while he can.
Several people going in to fight him all at once, making that choke point advantage not really in his favor anymore. Avocado almost going out there, actually.
What
Argon.
an interesting final zone here, too. We've got a little bit of the house. We've got the building here. Lots
big
of
branch
places
from the
for people
tree?
to rotate around. Yeah.
That's so interesting. We don't really see a lot of like overhangs like that, but look at this. People just sharing space if they're trying to heal, but Hero, one shot is going to do it. Anybody can find him.
We're going to start seeing these Flamers come out here in the end for sure. Hero going into Avocado with no health. Hero
He has no pots.
has no pots left. It's do or die for Hero right now.
He sees Dreams. He's just kind of hoping that nobody notices him there. He's got a charge right click of his own, but he's going to go down here because the parry comes out from Argon.
Hero doing the best that you can in that situation with no pots. This zone on the corner of this building is going to be so interesting. The people in the building are going to fight. Fleckless, no real way to get in without taking way too much damage.
Fleckless
Holding the
by
zone,
himself,
gonna
though.
try
All
to
he has to do
heal.
is heal. But it's not going to be enough because the zone blocks the healing, and Avocado comes up on top because Fleckless couldn't get the heal off in time before the zone came in. Hit him with the heal cut. Avocado, 6 kills, first place. What a showing.
Huge showing from Avocado here. Fleckless as well, doing very well. All these guys in this final zone. What a final zone, Odin. Nate, what did you think of that final zone?
That was absolutely crazy. I mean, you guys pointed it out, but everybody had flamethrowers. It was just getting insane. They're moving up the cliff towards the little house, and you're talking about it. It's almost like a little bit of a safe zone. Like everyone just climbed up to that tree branch at the top, just try to get that heal off before they came back down. But that was an absolutely wild finish. And Odin, I noticed you were talking about it was a pretty nice repeater kill earlier in the game from Hero as well. Just some great stuff we got to see in that last match, huh?
There were so many good plays there. Honestly, it's hard to call. I mean, Hero with that repeater kill is definitely one of the standout plays. That was some of the best game I've ever seen in this game. But in that final zone, so much mastery of the movement to get around and just escape your opponents. I mean, we saw Dan Bomb survive for such a long time, despite the fact that he was being chased by basically half of the zone. And again, these players are so good that despite all the talent in the lobby, we still end up with all those people left in that tiny little circle.
Yeah, and we're going to jump over to the leaderboards as we have those updated now with the conclusion for solos. And at the top, well, I mean, we've had a lot of good things to say about him, but we have even more to say now. Avocado crushing it, and not just first place, gentlemen, but first place by a pretty decent margin of points. What's our takeaway from here, Runekeeper?
I mean, honestly, it's just like we talked about. Those kills are super important, right? Avocado could have ratted here till the very end of the game and picked up a couple of kills, right? But they would not be in this dominating position. 16 points over the rest of the lobby, and we see here the Bomb not having a great game this time around and dropping all the way from second place down to fifth place, still qualifying, but again, those kills coming in absolutely massive for the points. Ban jumping up here with an 11 kill game, going out way earlier this game than last game, but those kills bringing them some very big points and jumping them up the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's just a really intense finish that we got. Especially, you know, you're talking about that house fighting for space, a little bit of verticality involved. Odin, at the end of these matches, Avocado stands above the rest, but man, he certainly had to work for it with the number of kills it took.
Yeah, 13 kills is no small feat to accomplish in a game like this where we know that all these players are so good. And he certainly stayed pretty aggressive throughout. We didn't really see any kind of ratting behavior. You know, it's certainly a viable strategy in solos, but he stayed on the offensive basically the whole time. And we talk about kills being important, not just for points, but also because it guarantees that you're knocking out the opposition and you have their loot. Avocado was like, I think it was Avocado or maybe another player that we were looking at that had no resources left, but securing a kill gave them tons of pots to work with, which completely changes the way they can play that final zone.
Yeah, it really felt like the visual clutter was almost what was getting in the way, that you just had such a small amount of space, but there were so many different places that everybody could be. But yeah, huge props to Avocado, who as you said, he towards the end of that round actually did secure that house for himself, had the flamer to cover it as well if anybody came in. I think the last thing you want to do is get in somebody's face with the flamethrower when you don't have anywhere to jump to because you're indoors. So a stellar finish. And I guess just final thoughts then from you guys on the solos before we kick it over to the trios. Runekeeper.
I was just super astonished to see 3 flamers here in this end zone. It's not something we see a lot of in solos at all, but these players opting to go for it, controlling the zone, which is exactly what you have to do. It's what we talked about just before the match started, right? You need to be aggressively getting those kills and controlling that zone so that you have the space to last out to the end there. And these guys absolutely killed it, man. I'm super excited to go into trios and see what everybody pulls out here, because if that's going to be the solo showing, trios is going to be twice as crazy.
I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. Odin, you know what? We'll just save it for the recap when we come back. Guys, we're going to go to a break. When we return, we're going to get in with the trios and follow up with the second half of the semifinals today at the Morus Cup. BLADEPOINT Morus Cup Semi-Finals. I'm Nathanius, joined by Odin and Runekeeper, as we make our way towards finding out who will qualify for the trios portion of today's tournament. The finals, of course, for Season 1 are going to be next weekend for both solos and trios. $10,000 on the line for each. And as we get ready to move into our trios section for today, we've got 2 lobbies that we'll be going through for you. We also have a little bit of a change up in terms of the formats. We're going to be bringing that up in just a moment. Just to quickly go over this first place, 20 points, not 30. It's going to be a little bit more cutthroat. You're only going to get 1 point per kill instead of 60 individuals on their own. You've just got the teams. You got 20 teams going at it in these lobbies. And well, gentlemen, we are going to see, you know, a bit of that pace changing, right? Going from the solos to the trios. People have your back. You're going to be worried about getting third-partied perhaps a little bit more. Odin, what's the biggest thing you're looking forward to compared to the solos as we get into the semis?
Well, obviously with the trios, you know, we have the communication and coordination makes a big part of how these teams are going to play the fights. You know, you're going to have these decision-making scenarios where you decide, hey, do we have ults up? Are we ready to jump in on people? Do we have somebody that's vulnerable that we can grapple to and immediately start a combo before their team can follow up? Are we even in a good position to take this fight? You have a lot more to consider because resources have to be spread out between 3 players. So if you're taking long fights, getting third-partied often, and you don't have a lot of resources on your team's side, then things become very difficult. So we'll see a little bit less movement like we've talked about before, where the teams are probably not going to be sprinting around the outside circles as much, instead trying to maintain their own position and either, you know, jump into a fight with another team to take what they have, or sort of dissuade people from entering their area, their zone.
So we're gonna be for sure expecting a bit more of that cautious play with that in mind then, Runekeeper, as we get ready for our trios games. We did get to see, even still in the last week through the qualifiers, things were still getting intense, a little bit heavy. We had climbing and jumping and just everything was insane towards the ends of those circles. Are we expecting similar chaos for today's matches?
Honestly, I think trios can get very, very chaotic, right? You've got multiple heroes throwing out multiple ults on top of each other, people going for resets, people trying to pick one member of a team off as an entire team so that they've got the numbers advantage. It's much harder to engage and disengage as a group. You really have to be managing your resources, managing your ultimates, knowing when you can reset, etc. What I'm really excited to see is what we've seen a lot of in trios lately is a group of players who are very good, very skilled at the game. They're coming in, they're picking their favorite hero, and that's just what they're playing, and they're coordinating well, and they're playing well. But what I want to see a little bit of, and I think we're going to start seeing more of as the competitive season goes on, is these teams building actual comps based on how these heroes are going to be benefiting one another, right? Like, you can pull some crazy things off where Karumi can throw down her ultimate, get your team a quick heal. If you're coordinated enough, your team jumps out of it. You've got a Tarka, he throws a fireball down when the other team collapses into it. Now they're all taking fire damage and they've put themselves in a bad situation. That's the kind of coordination I'm expecting to start seeing more of, and I'm really hoping we get to see some of today.
Have very specific combinations in terms of which kits the players will be bringing out. I think an excellent thing to keep our eyes on as the game is ready. Gentlemen, take it away.
All right, let's take a look at our spawns here. We've got quite a few people over here. 2 teams over at Wreckage Plains, quite a few over at Still Tide and Sunwing's Rest. Sunwing's Rest has been increasing in popularity, but immediately we're going to see 2 teams jumping in. Slide Dog eating a combo as a full team collapses on him.
Sly Dog caught out here in a very bad situation. His team's not really there. I think we just saw Kazuya throw a fireball from up above, trying to cover Sly Dog here. Yep, we're going to see that Tarka ult already coming out this early. Kazuya favoring that early rage build, right? Starting with that 40% initial rage. Getting caught out by Grifter here. Misses the parry, calls it too early. Grifter gets the cancel. Kazuya trying to get that uppercut into it. Kazuya not finding any damage here. Grifter still on the chase. Kazuya trying desperately, throws the fireball, doesn't land it. Grifter dodging to the side. Kazuya still desperately trying to stay alive here. Give Ketsu a chance to get Sly back into the game, maybe.
Yeah, Kazuya's been showing off. He's got pretty good movement, but finally getting chased down. It's very difficult to escape once 3 people are just grappling to you. But Ketsu looking to answer back. They have to disengage, though, as another team is up top firing down at them with repeaters and bows. So it looks like Kazuya is going to have to use his Spirit Res a little early in the game, but of course that's what it's here for in these team modes. You get caught out, bad position, you just go run to that Soul Altar, get back, regroup with your team, find a good place to loot up, and consider your next move.
Absolutely. And again, Ketsu here doing the smart thing here, right? Going into the mines, knowing where he can have lots of crazy movement options, multiple paths to go down. It's very easy to lose a Matari down here if she starts teleporting and trying to get away from me. But he looks like he is going to get caught out by Crazy Mad Tacos. He's got no place to go now. He does dash backwards and get a very quick teleport off. And it looks like they lose him for a minute, but he's going up top. Fight me more over top of him here. Last week, Fight Me More, getting caught out in the end of that circle there. I know he's looking for a big redemption this week.
Yeah, checking out the feed, we've got Captain Khan taking out Kazuya, and that is his second death. So now Ketsu's team in a bad position as they're going to have to look for the res on a Kazuya. But with all these other players around, it's going to be tough to do. Or maybe that was a bit of a bug from the feed there, because it looks like Kazuya is still on his Soul Altar. Either way, Ketsu just looking to disengage here. Sly Dog nowhere to be seen either. This team of crazy Mad Tacos, Fight Me More, just going to take control of the Shadow Jade mine here, loot up, take what's left. Still looking like they might be chasing down Ketsu, though.
Fight Me More definitely looking to pick Ketsu off here. Again, these kill points only worth 1 point now instead of 2 points. But early on, when you can farm these teams, if they aggressively come back and spawn with white armor and stuff, those kills can rack up very, very quickly. And a team can easily pick up 30 kills if they play aggressively.
Yeah, 30 kills is not something uncommon that we've seen. I mean, we do have these games where just one team just goes insane and they just consistently jump onto a player, get a kill, and then turn a situation into a 2v3 where the other team is forced to use ults and try to get their teammate back, and they're just fighting at a disadvantage. It's really going to be the teams that are able to put those things together. I'm interested to see what teams will be running. A combo that's become very strong is Temulk and Viper. Oh, sir, just getting put in the blender right there by Slumped and company. They're going to pick up that kill. Looks like the whole team went down.
Absolutely. Yeah, Slumped and these guys controlling the fight here, picking up the kills, picking up these resources. And this is a situation you don't want to be in as Sir's team, right? You know you can't come back to these bodies. You've got a teammate here that needs to be rezzed. You need to find a Soul Altar that's nearby so you can come back and try to get that teammate. But if Slumped and them sit on this, you have to opt to leave your teammate out and just try to rat to the end and get some of those placement points.
Yeah, it's not that common to see teams camp bodies this early on, since the Soul Altar res is still there. You have to weigh the options of whether or not it's actually worth it to sit there and watch. But we've got a team right up top here. It looks like Fight Me More and company are now just above on the cliff, ready to drop down if they could spot Slumped and company. All right, so Averse, Yanyans, and Slumped are going to engage them, fighting an uphill battle here, but ults are on the table. Okay, so we see the Temulk Wisps coming out there. Now, do we get the follow-up with the Wind Prison?
This double pickup onto Averse and Slumped into the Wind Prison, and we see the Viper ult coming out.
Yep, this is exactly what we were talking about, the power of Temulk with Viper. It puts you in such a difficult spot because you have to deal with the Wind Prison and the Viper ult that you have to run from, and there's nowhere to go here. Slumped now popping one of his own to try to turn it around while he's invisible. Doesn't look like he caught anybody.
This fight breaking down here. Looks like team communication not going very well. Everybody kind of a little spread out all over the place. It's going to be interesting to see how that fight plays out. We've got up to Volek's team here. They look like they're pushing up the hill here, possibly towards Stilltide, if I'm not mistaken. In a strong position. Yawns, Averse, and them still out here, now in the zone, still fighting this fight. All their players still kind of split up.
Yeah, Yanyon's tethered to Averse here, allowing him to continue to be aggressive despite the zone, and they all connect on to Fight Me More. He's going to go down. Yanyon's picking up the bounty real quick here to see if he can find somebody else nearby. Nobody in Celestia for them to fight, but they are looking to loot up a little bit and then head into the zone.
It is that first zone, right? They do have the Kurumi. That heal is absolutely huge for them. It's going to allow them to preserve some of their pots and stuff here. We see Crazy Mad here already rezzed back into the fight.
I think Crazy Mad may have actually just escaped, and now he's looking to go back to pick a Fight Me More. Crazy Mad using the Wisps to try to dissuade the opponents from chasing, but he's got a lot of timer on that gauge to res his teammate. This is going to be very difficult. It's tough at this point. They may have to just decide to leave him. Looking down at the feed, though, I see Kazuya, who is still in the game, despite it looking like Kazuya's team was going to go out there early in Shadow Jade. Yanyan's picking up the kill onto Twitch. Looks like Crazy Mad's going to be the last person left alive on that team.
Kazuya's team, no stranger to playing from behind and making some major comebacks, right? Going out to those far distant soul altars where there's not a lot of loot for a 3-man squad, right? Coming back in, possibly only having white armor, if that. Fight Me More gonna go down again in the exact same spot. Caught out by a Versus team all again. He's got to be feeling the deja vu right now.
Looking over here to a fight that's broken out with Jaxie's team. Playing into Muffler's team. Soj already down there, and there is a Matarial, but not going to do a whole lot for you in trios when you've got a teammate down. Although, for some reason, they have disengaged. Some reason. Okay, so they saw the third party coming in, and they decided to back off and try to take shots while they were looking for the res. Knowledge almost going down instantly as Jaxie's team just turns around and pops the ranged weapons. Very good awareness there from Jaxie's team to not get rolled up on like that.
Not only the awareness, but the communication from Jaxie's team to just all back out there, especially when you've got the numbers advantage, you think about greeting, you know they have to go for the res there, right? It's very easy for communication to break down in that situation when there's points on the line.
Yeah, we saw the same thing actually happen to Jaxie and Mime last week in the trios, where one of them went down and Mime had to just force the res and look for it. Jaxie getting a nice big uppercut onto this monk. Getting carried now. Savior following up. They pick him off. Again, we talked about this so many times. You get caught in that 3v1 situation. What can you do? You just get juggled and killed.
Kushnomad here going in solo. Not sure what they're looking for. They do have the ult here. They had Jaxie separated for just a second, but weren't able to carry out the combo all the way. Jaxie's still on the chase here in a very strong situation. Their whole team here. And it looks like Clyde is gonna go down.
The coordination was very strong there. Jaxie knows, okay, you get close with the greatsword after the grapple. If you hit the left click when you're close enough, you get a guaranteed follow-up. He wasn't close enough, but his team supported him there by just throwing grapples out, not only to close the distance, but also to keep that player stunned and just keep him locked down, and they get a full combo onto him. This is what really it breaks down to in these 3v1 situations. If you get caught out like that and you don't have an ult that can deal with that grapple spam, or you're not a character like Batari who can teleport away, you are in so much trouble.
Absolutely. Getting hit back to back by multiple. Yana's team of finding Saga's team down here in the bush. It's
almost
like they
instant
knew they
death.
were there.
Yeah, they probably pulled out the grapples to see it, and Saga goes down. No fear from Slump and Company as they pop that ult. Now a 3v1 situation, and Remorse is just getting the clash lock here from the greatsword.
J-Lane's team coming in here. Very good teaming here. If you notice, J-Lane instantly pulled back from that stone form, and then his teammate Humble came in with the spear and hit the blue, so that they reset the stone form. Absolutely great teamwork there. Blossom here in a very bad situation. Gets the stone form, but gets knocked out of it. Giannis is going to claim the kill.
Yeah, we see just how weak the greatsword can be in those situations where it's easy to manipulate the behavior from the player because there's not much you could do in response to those clash spams. So you just get stuck in a situation where you have to commit. Brandon CHA landing a nice Nez's Might on the back there to break up the fight a little bit, give his team a little bit of room to breathe, but Averse still stuck down here. Coctus looking for the follow-up. No uppercut. Averse in a bad spot. One more hit's going to do it, but he gets out with the Matari teleport.
Does he, though? He comes back in, not sure why, and Coyotes will connect with the greatsword to knock Averse out here.
It looks like he just got stuck on the wall and slipped back down. Unfortunately, he just couldn't climb up. Unknown player getting bounced and juggled up here. Popping the Viper ult immediately. It looks like a Viper ult is actually going to turn around and force that cancellation.
Trying to go in here. Again, the Yodo F, very strong at zoning. Clearly the one that moves slower but is capable of countering here. Is it me, or did it look like this...
Jaxie going down
was,
from the uppercut there.
Was it me, or did it look like the Viper just was unaffected? Was that their Tumult ult, correct?
It looks like yeah. They do have a Temulk on the team. Sorry, rocking the Temulk, and they have running the monk. Bit of spectator lag here. Looking to possibly engage on Nevon, another name that we recognize from the community events that we see during the week. But Sari's team maybe seeing Brandon CHA and company up on the hill here. It looks like they're engaged in another fight. Humble and J Lane looking to combo, connecting. Big damage onto Yanyons. I'm not sure if they were able to get a burst back. Yanyons using the verticality of the roof there to charge up an attack that could not be answered back. Humble having to give him the space, respect him, let him back off. They're going to re-engage, regroup as a team, and maybe re-engage.
Kite here still giving the chase, though. Gonna reset into the team. Looking to get back with his team here. Of course, he's very split up. This is a bad situation to be caught out in. Slumped and Yanyons in between them.
Yeah, so since we came into this a little bit late, we don't really know what the ult situation is yet until we get a little closer we can see. But there are ults on the table. So we got the Matari and the Kurumi ult. So they definitely are in a good position to continue chasing. And they take Slumped out. Yanyon's now about to get put into the 3v1 blender. Using very good movement to get out there. But how long before he gets caught and locked down? Grappled out of the sky. This is a bad look for him.
Yanyon's still managing to survive here. Grapple after grapple. Tries to get the reset and the knockback here, but does not come out as Kite claims the kill.
Looks like Yanyon versus team are going to go out there. We see Katsu off at the distance here looking at this situation about to unfold as Stanley and Voxel clinging to the side.
Unknown to catching the Viper ult here. Voxel just stunned down in the cliff, but standing there, not quite stunned, pushing onto the Viper to save Voxel from being punished for that.
Yeah, I mean, he covered it nicely with the wisps there. Voxel was stunned on the side. If you get stunned in a situation like that where there's nobody immediately on you to follow up, although it is very dangerous, 5-second stun, there are
caught out here in this
worse
bush.
places to get stunned.
Looks like Voxel and crew are going to give up the chase. Seeing J-Lane's team and Humble up here, opting to jump into this fight instead of Yuppie engaging with the fireball, splitting everybody up. Voxel here pulling the cannon out, something you don't see a lot of in solos, of course, much better in trios for zoning.
Yeah, cannon very capable of putting out a ton of damage in the back. You can just keep popping those shots. Voxel seemed to have noticed Ketsu over here by himself. No collapse from his team yet, though. His team's kind of in the back, just letting him take the 1v1, and it looks like Ketsu is going to recognize that this is not a situation he wants to be in and just go ahead and back off. Ketsu looks like he is alone currently, going to have to play for placement at this point.
Potentially very dangerous situation for Voxel, though, with his team engaging J-Lane up there. Ketsu coming in. If he had caught that combo out, Voxel could have very easily died there.
No commitment yet. Stolly looking to follow up with the grapple. Get something started here. They're just skirting around each other. There's tons of teams converging on each other right now. Jumping up here on the cliff where we just saw J-Lane landing a nice uppercut there. Stolly going out, or taking out a player there. Humble taking out Zero Clux. The Matari invis to respond to the Viper ult there.
J-Lane here trying to get that charge on the left click on the Greatsword here. Going into the right click. Looking to pump some damage out. Staying on top of his team here with Kite and Humble. Finds himself onto Volo.
Volak getting sniped out of the sky. That's going to probably be it for him. The forced clashes are going to be the end of him. He did get grappled out while jumping, and you've been there. You know you get knocked down to the ground. It's very difficult to recover. No teammates to back him up. J-Lane and company now getting engaged on by Stolly.
For those who don't know, even while you block attacks with the stone form, you do still take chip damage. So them coming in and just constantly forcing the chip damage there, just gonna head and kill him before he can follow it up with the actual stone form.
There's so many people all collapsing on this one area. This is so interesting to look at. We're going to see a ton of people going out right now. It's 28 players left alive while we are now moving on Zone 4 collapsing. So we're going to see this turn into chaos really quick. There are some bounties on the field. Stolly just sitting over here. One rat sitting in the bush there. Nobody seems to have noticed him. He slipped unnoticed in the middle of the chaos.
Wrecked Prime so thankful nobody caught him out here. Stolly and crew is still moving around him. He's got to be in the need of a change of drawers right now. So many players whizzing past his head. Those great swords giving him a buzz cut as they swirl past.
Look at the amount of people that are in this tiny little area. I cannot believe there's this many players left alive. It's good. These numbers are going to start getting thinned really quick. All right, we're seeing some nice shots from Stolly, getting connection on a J lane. The fireball coming out and just hitting him with the burn. No connection on the knockdown though.
Lots of engagements here. Teams opting to jump back, disengage. Everyone trying to play the ranged game right now, knowing that the circle is about to get very small and force everyone into a melee.
Reject finally gets caught on that bush. He's sitting there the whole time, and somebody finally noticed him and said, "What are you doing over here?" Send him with the fireball. They send him home packing.
Stolly engaging hard here. Mao and crew looking to hide out in this house.
Yeah, not the worst position to be in, but the ult from the temple going to hit them and get them stuck inside the house. Sorry getting taken out just at the edge of his prison. It looked like he was going to escape, but the zone forced his jump angle to kind of screw him over. He gets hit in the back. Z-God now looking to follow up with this team. There is a Viper ult, but the Matari ult is going to come out as a counter.
They almost stick the res on to Sorry, but Z-God's here not allowing it.
That's too many people in one house. There's got to be
going up into Varja here, caught out in the open, does catch a player. Sorry, does get rezzed.
Yeah, I think the Vajra had the cover there for the res. Once that Vajra came out, they kind of broke up that little house party there, and everybody started to disperse. And now we have absolute madness in the backfield. Yeah, UP taking out Sorry as well.
Down. A team left with one player, I do believe, right now.
We've got 18 still left alive, but this zone is quickly collapsing. Look at the map, the mini-map in the corner there. You see how tiny it is, and there's so many bubbles there. We're seeing so many people just skirting the edge of this zone, but all on the same side. Voxel getting picked up while he was in the Wisps. This is very bad for him. No. Oh, the monk did not throw him back into the zone, though.
As well. Huge damage coming out. Voxel trying to use the heal to get back in it, running around the edge. Peter here in a very good situation, not with the rest of his team, though. Morris and him out here as a duo. Morris trying to zone this so Peter can get the reset, using the flamethrower, getting people off of him. Ketsu's still alive?
Peter taking some shots at there. That wind prison is going to keep them cut off. It's definitely split up the action here. One team gaining control of the bridge, but they're all split out now. Avalon in a bad spot underneath the bridge with a bunch of flamethrowers pointed at him. Stolly's team, though, seeing Peter and Merce just sitting here holding the top of this little hill and decide to come in and push them out, try to get some space for themselves.
Peter here using the invis to their advantage, getting that pot up, getting the full reset. Just narrowly avoiding the fireball from the Tarka. Looking to get to his team, looking to get to Morris. Still trying to get some kills in. Goes into the Earthshaker. Gets knocked back. I'm not sure what just hit Peter there.
Yeah, it looks like he connected with somebody that was coming out from under the bridge. Stolly's team was pushing into him there. Ketsu just dancing around the battlefield right now. The last man alive with the last hope for his team. He gets a placement point. Still alive despite all this insanity. Voxel taking out China 01.
Stolly also claiming J-Lane's life as well. The big fireball coming out and connecting with 3 people. Yuppie showing why that fireball in these zones can be so aggressively used to zone players and get some big damage out.
Maris and Peter still getting chased down here. Finally backing off, get the reset. I don't know if Maris is out of pots maybe, but looks like they can't top off. Kite going down there to the combo of Stolly's team.
Peter here catching people out, still managing to pot up. Humble coming in. Peter with the last second dodge.
We're seeing these players going out left and right. No cap and taking out Maris. Peter probably by himself now. Cocktus taking out China 01, who had gotten res. We saw Voxel take them out earlier. All right, so look at Stolly's team is the team that we really are probably going to see take control of this zone. We've got only Tycho and Brandon's team over here to contest them, really, but everybody else is sort of had their numbers thin. You've got twos and solos everywhere, and Stolly's team sitting in the background now jumping in. I think that was a win prison of theirs.
Yeah, Grifter's team as well, with no cap in them. Still also a 3 team, sitting pretty in the top of those trees, but the zone does close in over here hard. Grifter getting a huge Viper ult. Yuppie goes down.
And just like that, we're down to 7 players. The win prison going to come out in the middle now, breaking up all the action and taking control of the middle of the zone. Grifter, no cap, and Z got in a really good spot right now. They were just sitting up here up top, and they managed to avoid the brunt of the action. Now pretty healthy on the whole team. Z-God connecting with the huge soul slash into Inez's might. Ketsu finally going down at the edge of that battle. Z-God waiting for that Viper ult to snap, and it catches 3 players. That whole team is about to get full comboed.
Yuppie! Oh, they're going to go into the Neja's might, no less.
Stolly popping up a win prison of his own, trying to get some breathing room for his team.
Down.
6 players left alive. No cabinets and Muffler sitting on the outside of the zone. No cabin. The last person left on his team. Muffler a solo. Brandon also a solo.
Stolly and Voxel here getting some resets, right? Coming in, fighting these solos. If you're in this position, you really need to just kind of team up with the other solos here and try to take Voxel and Stolly out. Not let them get the reset. Not let them get another player up.
Nice parry there. That's going to secure the kill on a Muffler, and it's just down to 2 other players. Brandon's trying to get in here and do some damage with that Flamer, but Stolly and Voxel still alive, but very low. Stolly getting taken out by the Flamethrower, and now it's down to Voxel. They were a team, but now Brandon breaking it up. And we've got Voxel just trying to escape to get healed up, as there is one more player sitting up in the tree above both of them.
Brandon up here sitting in the tree now. No cap. Sitting in a very good situation. Voxel still trying to go on to Brandon. No cap trying to get mixed in now as well. Gets parried on the wave into the Neja's might with the Razor Swift.
Brandon trying to carry him over. He's trying to pick up Voxel with that Nez's might at the same time.
Misses the parry. Brandon knocked out of the zone. Huge ticks here. Takes almost 50 damage from a single tick.
Oh, Voxel with the clash there.
Coming out. Brandon up top, taking those ticks.
What? Cabin was about to die on a tick, but he took out Brandon with the charge right click at the last possible second, surviving the zone damage and actually coming out on top.
No cap clutching it for his team here with the charged right click at the very end.
Are you kidding me? Are you? I cannot. He looked like he was about to die from that tick. One more tick was going to kill him, but he get the charge right click and finish off the kill. That was ridiculous. That was insane.
Huge damage coming out at the end there. You're talking about trying to get one more tick on the Flamer, not able to make it happen. We had Brandon up in the tree even for that hole. It got real scrappy towards the end of that one. I think Odin, you guys were just going at it, but that has to be one of the craziest finishes that we've seen so far, right?
The teams broke up like that, and it looked like Voxel's team. They were going to be the ones to watch, and they made it to the end. They were very confidently looking like they were going to take over, and Stolly went down to some flamethrower damage because Brandon was full health with the flamethrower just jumping around, and they couldn't lock him down. They were weak from taking on other fights, and although they had the strength in numbers, once Stolly went down, it was just a free-for-all with 3 players, and of course, he unfortunately didn't come out on top of that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we finished up with the solos already. So how did the final circle end up turning into that 1v1v1 free for all? Runekeeper. We were talking about the zoning tools from Tarka's Fireball, trying to create that space. But this is some of the chaos that I think we were alluding to with the trios. You just have so much coordinated moves being made by everybody, almost nonstop.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like Odin was talking about earlier, we saw a lot of coordination coming out from those Viper and Tumulk duos, right? Tumulk controlling the space, controlling that little zone. We saw Voxel coming out with a huge Viper stun, locking down an entire team into Inej's Might, completely eliminating them there at the end with one combo from the Tumulk ult into the Viper ult, right? The coordination crazy by these teams in these final zones. So much going on. One slip up, one thing gone unnoticed, and it could be your team locked out there in the end just like that, and that's all she rates.
Yeah, and Odin, there's got to be a level of pressure, right, in that kind of situation when you're the only person left on your team. I imagine you've got the comms running, and what's got to be going through everybody else's minds watching the one player left trying to ace it for everybody.
Every time anybody who's ever played a BR knows the situation of your team screaming in your ear while you're trying to deal with the multiple people situation. You're the last one left alive. That free-for-all situation is not something that we really see happen very often, where it's 1v1v1. It's usually one team that just ends up dominating that final circle. But because of the absolute chaos that broke out at the end there, it was really anybody's going to guess who was going to win that. So, I mean, that's a lot of pressure. And it came down to a single tick of HP that was 1 second away from happening because of the zone. So it could have gone either way. And I mean, if you're any of those teams that came out at the end with all those kills and placement, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I was just I was going to say that's got to be something that everybody has in their mind. Of course, you know, getting the placement points is really important. Getting the kills, and especially in those very tense situations where it's just a couple of guys that you have to deal with. Nobody is going to be getting rezzed anymore. Does this shake things up in terms of what we're going to be expecting out of the next match, or is this what we should be looking forward to again? Perhaps another free for all at the end, RuneKeeper.
Like Odin was talking about earlier, I really don't see you don't see the free-for-alls come out very at the end of these trios match, right? Voxel's team this game very much controlled this lobby, but a lot of rats managed to just hide it out, like we saw Direct hiding in that bush forever till UB caught him out with that fireball, right? These players very heavily trying to secure as many points as they can. We're talking about $10,000 on the line, a chance to go to the finals, and again, if you win the finals, a chance to go to that big final at the end of the year, right? So these players, their teams go down. Like Odin said, it gets crazy. You're that rat, you're by yourself, your team's screaming in your ear like you got to make placement, so you're doing everything you can. There's a chance we might see it come down to that again, but I think in this next match we might see a little bit more of what we usually see in trios. We're going to see a very dominant team come out on top and potentially just control this final zone and send it home for some big points.
Yeah, talking about controlling that zone, really important. We do have the leaderboard after our first trios round tonight, with the Ballista Boys up top, 46 points off of 18 kills. Odin, talk about separating yourself from the pack, huh?
18 kills is definitely a pretty high scoring game in a match with players of this caliber. We've seen in community events and even in previous Morus events, people pulling up numbers of like 20 to 30 kills. I think the most I've ever seen when I knew there was a lot of talent in the lobby was 36, and it was seriously one of the most impressive things I've ever witnessed. Ballista Boys showing off that they had that coordination. Again, we keep talking about this. You get caught in those 1v3 situations, and it's just, there's really nothing you can do if you're not like someone like Temulk who has an ult that can immediately interrupt that. But even then, if you don't have your team nearby to support you, you just get knocked out. There's nothing you can do after a certain point. You just get chased down. So, you know, when we go into this next game, these teams that went out early and didn't really score a lot of kills, they need to step up their coordination. They need to be more aware of their positioning and where the opponents are going to be coming from. They got to get a game like this. Ballista Boys with 18 kills in that placement, 46 points. They've got a huge lead right now.
Yeah, definitely. And RuneKeeper, I was going to ask you, I mean, we were looking at this top 5. One team does stand out. The only one that hadn't broken that 10 kill mark is in second place. So Nocturnal leads showing with the placement points at the very least that there's still a lot to be gained from playing that positional game like you were talking about, kind of avoiding maybe some of those fights, maybe picking a little bit more carefully. It didn't end up costing them too much to take it a little bit slower in this round, did it?
No, not at all. And again, when it comes down to these trios, right, everything is so hectic. It's much harder to consistently be able to engage and disengage as a team. Your coordination has to be on point. third parties are a very, very real reality all the time. When you're committing to those fights, you have to be ready to fully commit. You're coming in with your ults, you're expending your ults, and you need to get those kills, get the resources, get away and reset as soon as possible. So when you're in those types of situations, sometimes it pays off to look at engagement and just go, it's a bad engagement, right? We kind of saw it with Jaxie's team, right? They were in the situation, they killed one member of the team, they got into that golden situation where it's a 3v2. The team doesn't have the ability to send that player back to get a res. They have to stick to that player and get the res. But Jaxie's team pulling out the coordination and just going, look, guys, there's a third party coming in. We need to back off, and we need to go ahead and let this team go, not greet it, and ride some of those big points to the end of the match. And that's exactly what they did.
And they did that very well. Thank you so much for your insight, Runekeeper and Odin. We're going to go to a break, and when we return, our next trios match here for the NARAKA BLADEPOINT Morus Cup. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Not the first, not the last. Beauty under fire.
The shadow will shortly begin to spread.
They took my eyes for our god. Was it worth it? Yes. Nothing can hide from me any longer. I now know I was merely a tool to my mother. But I am more than she ever imagined. And I will see all that she has built for her. I am Viper Ning, the Crimson Knight.
What's up, everybody? We're back again here with the NARAKA BLADEPOINT Morus Cup Semi-Finals here for the Trios division. I'm Nathanius, joined by Odin and Runekeeper, as we are figuring out who's qualifying for the Season 1 Finals for Trios. And it turned into a bit of a solo fight towards the end of the last one, and I think we kind of agreed that that's maybe not what's going to happen this time, Odin.
No, it's pretty atypical. We don't normally see like a bunch of solos duking it out. And of course it was a 2v1v1 situation, but then it broke down. And normally, again, we usually see like one team gets the upper hand on the edge of the zone, picks a bunch of people off, and then they regroup and they end up taking over the show at the end. Very unusual to see like a full 3v3 at the end of a trios or a bunch of 1v1s. It's usually like 2 players versus 3 or 1 person left against 3 players. So we'll probably see more of that in this game, but who knows? I mean, these final zones, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, and I thought one of the other funny things that ended up happening in that last game, you guys were talking about during the break, some of the folks hiding up in the trees and whatnot, but I think I wrote down a little quote that's too many people in one house. Odin, it gets really chaotic, and there's just so many people end up in these tight spaces. How do you handle a situation like that? What's do a lot of these players try to avoid getting into those situations, or does it just happen by accident?
I think, I mean, what you get the thirst for blood, and you kind of see somebody's weak, you chase them into a house, all of a sudden it just turns into like a game of chicken of who's gonna charge up and unleash the blue attacks. When you're in those tight quarters and you can't really see what's going on around you, it's really hard to deal with. Fortunately for everyone that was involved in that little house party there, the zone came up and kind of ushered everybody out, opened things up into the fields. You know, in a 1v1, sure, you take the inside fights, but when you're in a 3v3, you're just gambling at that point. You're rolling dice.
Yeah, I was gonna say my next one I had teed up for you, Runekeeper, was how do you feel about chasing enemy teams into houses? Is that where you want to take your fights?
It's really not where you want to take your fights, honestly. You come into zones like that, and I personally, being in those situations before, I've been in that situation where I'm a Tarka and I've got my Karumi there. They chase us in, we're low. Karumi pops the ult, you heal up. Tarka throws the fireball, the whole house is on fire. You can instantly turn some of those fights. You can't see what the teams in those houses are setting up, right? But likewise, being in those houses for those teams can be a death sentence, right? Say the enemy team has Tumulk and he throws the sand prison and just catches them out on the edge of the sand prison in there. You can walk in and just brutalize the players that are in there. It's a catch-22 all around, I think. But no, I would not want to be chasing a team in there knowing there's that many players left. Knowing how much of a cluster that's going to be, I'm keeping my ass right outside.
All right. I appreciate that. And hey, guys, looks like the next game is ready, so I'll leave you to it. Good luck. Enjoy.
Thanks, Nate. We're going to jump in, take a look at the spawns now. We've already got some fights breaking out, as is typical, but we've got a ton of people up in Sunwing's Rest. We've seen a lot of people going to Sunwing's Rest because the loot is so good there.
Absolutely, but this is a crazy number of teams to see up there. Tycho's team up here, obviously picking the outside, looking to go in. We talked about this last week, right? Some of the best positions to be in is to come in and clean up these fights after everybody's already picked the good loot for you, and you're the third party. You've got your ults, you're not tired, you're ready to come in, you get a better look at the whole situation. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Blossom's going to go down to Spo with the longsword here.
Spo and his teammate playing a little game of Pong there with Blossom, just bouncing him back and forth between the right clicks there. Unfortunately, you get teamed on like that. That's just what happens.
Blossom opting to go ahead and go for the quick res, which makes sense here. There's so many teams here. It's going to be very hard for your team to jump in and pull you back up.
It's dangerous, too, fighting like this. Oh, huge fireball coming out there, knocking them both off. Unfortunately, they did get the kill, so it came out just a moment too late. But they're going to be forced to back off there. It might give the other team a chance to regroup. And what I was going to say is that right there, we just saw the mushroom out of the corner of our eyes. It's so dangerous to take these big, chaotic fights in here because you pop a mushroom and you could screw your whole team over.
Absolutely. If you don't have any health soul jades, that mushroom, it can 0 to 100 you. If you're in the middle of the fight, you just don't have a chance to pop a pot. Even if you play the fight perfectly, you just don't have a chance to recover. It can kill you outright.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, and it's one of those things where like you can try to plan around it, but then you get hit by it, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot. Humble here, getting a charge right click into the combo with his teammate. Nice moves there from Kite and Humble. Yanyan's about to go down here, just getting out in the nick of time with the tether from the umbrella.
Ooh, great use of the spear there, knocking him out of the air. Humble trying to connect on it. Yanyan's not wanting to get knocked out this early. Ooh, we see Kite monking up in the background trying to catch Yanyan's. They're going to opt for the reset. Humble here picking up J-Lane, grabbing the tether and the pickup. Kite covering, like we talked about before, using the monk to cover your teammates here, acting like a big meat shield.
Yeah, Verse, no fear, just taking shots off, trying to hit the weak point on the monk, but he was kind of in a weird situation there. If they had decided to all just jump on him, Verse would have been in a lot of trouble. Of course, he is playing with Atari, so, you know, he's got the chance to get out, but his team quickly regrouping, realizing that they were a little too spread out. Now we see this is exactly what we were talking about. These teams got to stay together and don't get caught out in the 1v3. You want these fights to be taken 3v3.
Absolutely. And here we talked about Tycho's team, of course, them going to the edge and picking up the loot. They're coming in. They're trying to third party the last of these fights from Sunwing here, knowing there's big loot on the line. Looked like they got looted up pretty well. They still have their resources. They still have their ults coming into this fight. We see the parry coming out. Volk in a bad situation, managing to get the weapon swap off, though. Misses the charge right click. Tycho still at full health, engaging here.
Yeah, Volak has that Mentarial on deck. I'm surprised they haven't popped it yet. No Viper on the other team to worry about.
Begin to spread.
They'll never see me coming.
Brandon CHA, one of the last players left alive in the end of the previous zone. One of these teams is going to go out here, and the zone is starting to spread. If this fight takes too long, they may miss their opportunity to get a res. You have to wonder if you're either one of these teams, you think, do we disengage now, or do we continue taking this fight?
And Volok's team here opting to continue to chase here. Into the sand whips. We don't see the punish come out, though. Volok's team very strongly covering for Volok there.
Yeah, nice parry there. Brandon forced to teleport up. The Nez's might hitting Volok, somehow getting knocked out of it. Huge combo here. Brandon is one hit from death, but Lucian getting spaced out, not able to connect with the great sword. No forward momentum there. Brandon still so low here, but oh, he finally gets picked up by Zero. If he just presses that left click, that's going to be hit for him.
Tycho here taking Lucan out.
Yeah, Zero Cluck's finally connecting with the kill onto Brandon CHA. Over here we see Jaxi just taking out two players, Sly Dog and Ketsu going down. Looks like they were victims of the ult into the F Matari combo. Or, sorry, the Yoda combo.
On the ballista here, too, trying to connect onto Jaxi, just zoning the best he can.
No repair kits. Oh, he does have a repair kits, but he decides to just leave the ballista. They do still have time to get the res, so, you know, they could just disengage. I mean, Kazuya, not exactly very looted, so not a lot to hold on to. His teammates probably thinking about the same thing. At this point, you just go for one of those more inward soul altars and try to loot up somewhere that's untouched. There's still a lot of these little buildings out here that have plenty of loot, so they're not out of the game yet, but certainly a difficult situation.
Absolutely, and like we talked about before, Kazuya's team no stranger to this. They love to play aggressively early when they have those extra lives. Fight me more! Just getting completely caught out here.
I think that was a little too much fighting. Crazy getting hit by the edge of that Yorihime ult. Van sitting down here just charging the right click, waiting for somebody to go for the plunging attack, the right click there. No answer back. Oh, connects with the right click and Twitch. IXI is going to go down there. Unfortunately, he gets caught by the edge of the longsword dash attack. Those verticals, so good between the katana and the longsword to catching people and keeping them locked down.
I wonder if we're going to see Fight Me More change his name to Fight Me Less after the trios this week.
I mean, the man's made it pretty far solo in the trios tournaments, gotten there by himself. But Yanyan's with a huge combo, knocking Nivon up into the sky with the double left click. Getting grabbed out of the sky. Nice use of the wind prism. Ooh, versus team still engaged. Slump just launching cannon shots at the spot. Look at the damage.
Oh,
Spo's gonna go down.
My. This is what we're talking about, right? The Monk, very, very vulnerable in the situations. He goes up. He's just completely targeted by both of these teams here. Instantly hits the stun, and that's a death wish for any Monk. Will 1v1 also getting caught out by Averse and his team here as well. Slumped and Yanyan's just following Averse up and completely dominating this fight.
Yeah, Will 1v1 had kind of a prayer right there. He went for the Dragon Rush into the Nez's Might, and Averse was standing next to him and tried to intercept it with a parry, but just barely missed. Unfortunately, it didn't matter for Will 1v1 as he got into the 1v3.
Jaxie's team is sitting really pretty right here. Decently looted up. They're on the edge of the circle, not engaged in fights, able to just kind of go around, loot up, get those resources they desperately need. Humble and J-Lane's team here looking like they're coming off of a respawn. Rocking white armor. This is that situation we talked about, right? Where you have to go out to one of those further spawns. Hope you find something nice. Humble looking to connect some shots onto Averse with the bow at range here. J-Lane pushing up, separating from his team here. Realizes the mistake it would be to go out and get caught out and backs back up to J-Lane and Kite.
Yeah, this is good. This is what we're talking about. Don't just go tunnel vision because you see people and engage, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, yo, team, where you at? And you realize that you didn't coordinate and you guys just got each other killed because you jumped into a 1v3 situation. We see it happen all the time.
Morris's team down a man here again. No stranger to this at the end of the zone here. But it looks like Red Dream's going to get connected on.
Yeah, he was trying to hide there.
Prayer.
He was trying to hide there, hoping that the team would loot and move on so you get the res, but no such luck as they turn around and catch him in the zone. Early zone, so it's not going to do a lot of damage. Nice move there from Mao as he used his ult to counter the enemy ult, but he's going to get hit with this Viper. Is it going to be fast enough? No! Just around the corner in time.
We see Sorry go down to Mao's Nezha Might there.
We got Monk on Monk violence back here, you know. Opting to detransform, just barely dodging his Van through the fist at him. Gets caught, dies to the zone. That was a tough one.
Van in a bad situation, about to hit stun range while in the zone in Monk form. D-Monks, but he needs to pot up now.
And the interrupt is going to kill him, and this unknown player knows it. Connects with the grapple into the left click, but now he's got to get his team up. There's a lot of bar to go there to get this res off. This is going to be a painful one. They're going to spend a lot of resources to get back in the fight, but luckily, a lot of dead bodies over here, so they can definitely get stocked up.
Both of them got a pot up here. Try to get the double res onto Yunko. Just barely connected. Both of them in range, needing a pot again here. Mao engaging on another team here. Still deep into the zone.
Yeah, we saw Red trying to get the res. They picked off Red, but Maris somehow getting back in there. They took him out as well. No survival chances whatsoever. They were just dominating people outside the zone. They had no fear. You know, it's the early zone. It doesn't do a lot of damage. We were still on Shadow 1. It doesn't have that heal cut factor either. So you can fight out there, especially if you have a Harumi on your team.
Speaking of fighting in the zone, we see Mao coming in here with the Nezha's Might. Just barely getting away from the Viper stun. Gonna connect onto Sorry.
Mao dancing around over here. Seeing some more Monk on Monk violence. Big follow-ups here. The Katana just locking Mao down. No chance to fight back.
The Yodo also going down. The Monk in stun range. Can they get the pot off here? Doesn't look like they do.
Too late to choose an appetite.
Van going down once again. No survival for any of these teams out here in the zone.
Voxel's team, once again, in a very strong position. Put a great show on last match, chasing down Avalon here. Some free points, really, for them. Avalon stuck out here by themselves. Voxel getting a little bit of a movement glitch there, it looks like. Launching themselves into the sky, and their team Yuppie's gonna catch Avalon here out with a fireball for the kill.
Yeah, he hit the grapple there and went for the left click because he was super close, so he was looking for the knockdown, but he got the moon boots and went up into the sky instead. Ends up finding the kill. The great sword has that super strong combo if you land the grapple into the left click up close because you get the guaranteed follow up, and it's a lot of damage even with a white great sword. So people are often looking for that, but I mean it's tough if you're grappling from really far away because they can just dodge out of it.
Again, Kazuya's team earlier looking like they're in a bad position. Kazuya opting to move away from Jaxie's team off the ballista before their team getting a strong reset. Coming out here, picking up some great loot back in Sunwings.
So it looks like Savior popped his wind prison there. Yuppie getting hit by the right click from SlyJ. A huge Nessus bite from Savior, but Yuppie gonna clap back with the fireballs from the sky. So much damage.
Yuppie showing why Blackout Vulcan is so strong, controlling that entire fight while pumping out huge damage onto SlyJ as well. SlyJ trying to get away. Stolly and Voxel on them though.
They need to get out because this Bane Breath's about to pop, and as I say it, SlyJ goes down to it. The team they were engaged with popped it in the middle of the fight. Look at this, Stolly, Yuppie, and Voxel once again doing very well. The team that we saw nearly take the win last game, that Bane Breath coming in clutch.
Game was here with their team and gonna go ahead and come on to Red Dream, the last member of their team, picking up some kill points here. Game Wiz and them sitting in a strong position. Stolly and them, of course, over here with the Bane's Breath, looting these bottles, looking for resources.
Yeah, just getting the free reset, essentially, because of the Bane Breath. Stolly a little low, just waiting for them at the Kurumi heal instead of potting up there. Absolute chaos here as the Vajra comes out from Kite, breaking up the action here, forcing the teams to back off. But they're still taking the fight back behind the house, and Kite is stuck. He can't get out. He's going to have to de-transform.
Kite forced to take the reset here, not getting any value out of his ult.
Super unfortunate for Kite there. I don't think anybody would have expected that to happen. Getting the big Neja's Might there, locking everything down. Kite using the bell to get out of that pressure. Zero Clux belling back in response, popping up the Vajra. Now they have to disengage. Nice use of the ults here from Zero Clux team to keep control of the fight, not let things get completely out of hand.
Absolutely. Humble here, trying to get away from Zero Clux. Holding on hope for this team. Volok and them not letting it happen. Humble picked up by Zero Clux. They're going to hit him with the cannon, and Zero Clux is just going to get the smash and end a Humble and their team's hopes of getting some decent points here in this final match.
Yeah, unfortunate too, because he did have the weak point on the leg, which if you're up against a Vajra, that's what you like to see, but they weren't able to capitalize on it.
Stolly's team once again is still controlling everything up here by Stilltide. Fighting in the zone, don't care. Voxel's got the tether out, healing his teammates. Looking to get onto SlyJ and Slumped here. Yanyan's back in the game somehow.
Yeah, we did see a Verse manage to disengage from that fight earlier, and it looks like they may have been able to get the res. It was a little too late for the Soul Altar, so we can only assume that they were able to scare off the other team or perhaps wipe them out. Voxel's team, once again, they're looking dominant. Yuppie, Stolly, Voxel, they showed off their skills as a team last game. Made it so far in the zone, and again, I really thought they were going to take it. That chaos of that last zone kind of did them no favors, but they've got another chance here. There's only 40 teams left alive, which we're moving up to Shadow 3. It's surprising to see so many people still, but we're going to start seeing teams dropping left and right.
Oh yeah, Yunko and Sari's team here, very lucky getting back in. Not only getting back into this fight with the res right out there in the zone where they used a lot of resources, but rocking all the gold armor, the purple armor, some big weapons here. Catching Peter out completely, putting him down. He can't use his skills right now. The chase is on, and Peter goes down to Sari.
They caught him out by himself. There wasn't much to be done about that one. Flaming popping off that Yoda ult, and you love to see that. The slam into the ground. Gamer Wiz just stuffed him in the dirt. Finding another pickup on Volak. This man doesn't miss.
Gonna go for the slam here. Volak very low. Some shots coming out from Brandon's team over here. Gamer was going for the reset in a good position, but does catch an arrow. Is in a very precarious spot now. All these teams on top of him. Gamer needs a reset extremely bad here.
Making great use of that greatsword movement uphill. It's very strong with the greatsword surfing, able to just disengage, get a quick heal off there. They're not out of the woods yet, but there are several teams around them right now. Big danger of getting third party if you commit to any fight. So at this point, everybody's just kind of backing off. Good awareness from these top level players to know, like, hey, this is about the time when a lot of teams are going to be collapsing on each other. We need to be careful. Look how small this zone is. It's ushering everybody into the same place.
Absolutely. And again, Gamer was very lucky there. Had that been a headshot, potentially could have put Gamer was down and their team in a very bad situation where there wasn't a way to recover Gamer Wiz, but they do have the awareness. They didn't get the headshot onto Gamer Wiz, and they get the reset and they get out of there.
Grifter just barely floating above the slashes from the katana. Gets the grapple up on the hill, but no luck on getting out as a verse catches him. All three of them. Can he get out? Wait, they're just mashing the left clicks. No, he's going to get it out for just a second.
Kazuya and Sly Dog's team coming in here onto Kite. Kite just barely getting the Varja off. Kazuya saved by the tree branch at the very last second.
I'm looking at the kill feed to see if Drifter gets picked. Oh, what? Kazuya gets grabbed from the distance and another area code. Kite picking him up again. Oh, no. Kazuya gave him the slip, but then Kite found him all the way at the bottom. What a nice shot from Kite there.
Very dangerous to try to use the grapple to get out there, right? Because the grapple does have the startup time, which is exactly what the Monk wants. It leaves you in a position where he knows where you're going to be. He throws the fist out, you get the grapple, but the fist is going to catch you and just overpower it. Kite in a great position here, trying to push back up into his team.
Yeah, Kite actually in a little bit of a panic there at the end there because I think he realized that the zone is now starting to do a little bit of heel cut, and actually it looks like he went down to the zone because of it. He was pretty confident that he'd be able to dash in because he had the heals, but once we get to that zone 3, it starts to cut your healing by a pretty significant amount. He ended up dying because of it.
Sorry here, trying to catch some shots off, using the bow, looking for Spo out here, it looks like.
Sorry, it's team over here very looted up. Purple weapons and gold and yellow, gold and purple armor all around. Spo's team, on the other hand, very under-equipped, and Sly Dog gets caught inside the outhouse. That's a bad look for him as he just gets comboed to death. There's nothing he can do about that one.
It's definitely not the position you want to find yourself in when are this tight. Sly Dog, you're in that house, 3 people come in, you don't really have the movement to get out of there. You're just gonna be stuck and you get aped down by an entire team, and honestly there's not much you feel like you can really do about it.
The man got jumped for his slides. He get picked back up, but the ult is not gonna help, or he's not gonna get saved because the enemy team, sorry, there popped his ult, locked him down. Spo is still sitting up here. I don't think they know that he's in the house. He hasn't made a noise, so there's no reason for them to go looking for him.
Tycho here getting a very good shot onto Clyde Gaming.
Yeah, Clyde going down there after that big shot from Tycho. God's team over here got the second floor of the this little like church building over here. Oh, jumping over here where Muffler is now engaged. Big ult coming out from Yuppie's team. Man, Yuppie's been going huge with that Blackout Vulcan.
Yeah, again, you can't misjudge the ability to control the battlefield with that, even if you're not connecting those shots, right? The teams are having to react to them. They're having to back up. They have to pay attention to everything you do. UP catching Nullgate out here with the flamer.
Knowledge fell down right in front of him. He looked like he was escaped because UP couldn't find him. Knowledge just fell right in his face. It almost looked like UP didn't even react. He just kind of said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" and just gave him the flamethrower. He died instantly. It was so funny to watch.
Crazy Man Tacos just hiding in the edge of this bush here, praying nobody finds him.
I mean, he's sitting right next to the team. Here. He's it looks like he's out because there's another fight going on there with a Verse and Slump's team. 2 of the big contenders for this round engaging right now, and also we've got Sari's team rolling up. Look at all of the people closing around the church over here. This is going to be a really tough spot to get out of.
Unknown catching a big shot from Tycho there. Tycho landing some very, very strong shots this game, opting for the bow, trying to pick as much damage as he can to get some good engagements for his team.
Z got a little weird play there because his teammate's hiding in a bush up top. Yuppie getting a nice connection with the bow on Fight Me More. Look at this. Voxel with the gold Blood Ripper. Stali with the gold bow, or the gold musket.
Crazy Mad finally found by Yuppie.
Voxel's trying to make use of this Blood Ripper. We don't see this happen very often. It's a pretty uncommon weapon to see in trios. But man, if you get locked down by that thing, good luck.
Absolutely.
Look at him just running around in circles with it.
Voxel looking to connect here. Just can't connect. This is what we talk about. It's a very niche weapon. It's very much a cheese kind of weapon, right? It doesn't see a lot of play, honestly.
Yeah, you can run it down the hill like this, which is cool, but it's so hard to get the connection because you see that thing coming, you just jump.
Especially after last patch where we saw the startup time, right? Jumping from half a second to a second and a half. You really have to start charging that thing and catch somebody off guard. Otherwise, they can easily throw a parry out. Trying to go into Spo here. Spo just jumps out before he can even get it charged up.
Yeah, UP, Voxel, and Stolly just looking amazing once again. They're showing continuously that they can make it to these later into the zone. 16 players left alive. It looks like a bunch of people just went down there as this zone is going to close in a really weird spot. A lot of players up on top of this cliff have the height advantage, but they're fighting amongst each other while the other teams down below are battling for supremacy the other side of the valley.
Yuko with this bounce shot on this cannon as well, being up top with everything. Look at J-Lane here, clutched to the bottom of the bridge, knowing nobody can do anything unless they see him from down below with a ranged weapon.
This is coming down to a very intense fight. 16 players left alive. Nobody wants to go for the full commit. There's a lot of action happening on the side of that cliff, but the players are thinking in the back of their mind, $10,000 is on the line. They've got their placement into the tournament for next week. If they can get there and show up, they've got so much money they could win. So people are playing careful. Brandon turning the corner into a full team and immediately piecing out.
Tycho getting caught out here. I think Tycho goes down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No way he's getting out of that one.
Crazy Mad still in this as a solo running around. Sari's team just dominating the edge of this cliff, but it doesn't look like they're going to have this cliff for much longer. J-Lane in such a solid position. Can we talk about the use of the bottom of this bridge as an absolute rat here?
I don't think anybody's seen him. There's no way anybody's going to look up there with all this going on. He's good to just sit there. Now, the thing is he going to have the discipline to just chill there and not jump onto an easy kill? Because the placement is worth more than going for that one kill when you're a solo like this.
Yeah, that is the question. But it does look like he's going to have the patience. This man is a rock. He hasn't moved. All these teams just trying to pop shots. It's so weird seeing the zone close on the gorge like this. Nobody wants to be down in the bottom here, so we're just taking shots at each other. J-Lane getting hit finally from below by Twitch. J-Lane opting to come back up on top.
He
gets back underneath.
He's just going right back. This man is unbothered. He's just sitting on his bridge. Stolly going in here to break up the action on the top of the hill and immediately eating the right clicks, getting sent back down. Yuno's team has just been controlling this upper area, and nobody can do anything about it because every time they get up there, just eat the charged right clicks. Nice parry coming out there, but his teammate actually hit him out of the follow-up, but no.
No cap still goes down to it, though.
Yeah, that wind prison locked him in place. There was no way he was getting out of that one. Grifter popping off the big Viper ult. Not going to be able to connect with anybody, though, as he struggles to find his way up the cliff.
J-Lane still rocking under the bridge, finally drops. Zone is going to close off either side of these here directly. J-Lane looking to get vertical again. The bridge is gone. J-Lane has no place to hide as a solo now.
Getting knocked into the zone here. This is a lot of damage, and they don't have a Karumi on their team, so they got to deal with this. No cap, one hit gonna do it, but nobody can even see him. This is gonna be the hardest thing to fight on. You're just on a sheer cliff, and the zone is dwindling. This is gonna come down to a fight on the side of this mountain.
Unknown here. Crazy Mad Taco's down at the bottom here. Slumped looks like they're going to go down. I hear that chainsaw running. Slumped completely caught in a corner by the chainsaw. You hate to see it. You be bringing the fire.
Stolly, Voxel, and Yuppie just sitting here and holding the middle of the zone here. The wind prison coming out. Stolly just taking shots at all these people stuck up on the side of the zone inside of his prison. I don't think he can hit them. They're too far into the side of the wall.
Voxel controlling the bottom of this cliff here with that Blood Ripper. A very unique use of this weapon here. Of course, Yubi throwing the flames out. Stali throwing tornadoes. We see the monk come out from Yuko here. It's going to be interesting to see how Stali and Voxel react to this. You've got the raid boss down in the bottom. Yubi gets picked up. He's going for the second. He's going to bop Yubi, but Yubi not able to be thrown into the zone because of the walls here. Yubi using the target ult for the movement, jumping around, dodging the best again. Fireballs to the cliff. He's going to go for the blackout, catches the kill onto Grifter.
Nice fireball there as that lands right on top of the monk. I think he picked him up and caught him mid-hand. This is looking really good for Yubi's team, but oh no, a quick turnaround. The Temok Wind Prison comes out. Stali not going to be affected by that, but the rest of his team is under heavy fire right now. Yuppie going down, and Stali's going to go down if he's not careful.
Voxel still holding into this. We hear that Blood Ripper charging up, but Voxel just not able to get it started up with that nerf. 1.5 seconds does not sound like a lot, but in a zone like this, it's insane to try to get that off.
Stali's team, once again, they were looking so strong, unfortunately fell victim to the chaos of the final zone, and it looks like Sari's team is going to clean this up nice and easy. Wait, no!
Sari goes down. Z-Gods by themselves, though, into the zone. Gets the big heal. Trying to get the charge left click. Can Z-Gods hold it down long enough? No, he just barely goes down.
That was, I cannot believe that he held on for that long. It looked like he was about to turn that fight around. One more connect was going to do it, but Sari's team sealing the deal. Look at the kills and damage. They dominated that zone.
Yeah, talk about the chainsaw at the end. Fireballs from above. Z-Gods going into a 1v2, trying to get that push out to clutch it at the end, but... Well, you know, I gotta say, I don't think we've been able to see it finish on the gorge like that. You guys were talking about the different levels of elevation. I'm gonna just start immediately with you, Odin, at the end of that one. How important is starting those fights on the upper side of that cliff, or taking control of the bottom first? What's the priority focus when you get such an uncomfortable final circle?
You want the high ground in those situations, and we saw Sari's team dominating because of it. They just kept shooting down, and even if they're not necessarily picking up the kills, they're just softening everybody else up. They didn't have to expend any resources. All they had to do was just keep preparing their ranged weapons, taking shots down, and then every time somebody comes up, when you are coming up the side of a cliff and you're climbing somewhere, there's a short delay before you're able to parry, because you have to jump off the wall or you have to double jump, and then you can throw out a parry. So Privy teams will sit up there and just charge up those focus attacks and wait for people to run into them. And we saw that happen time and time again. People went up there to challenge that position to try to knock them down because they were being such a nuisance. And every time they walked up there, people were just getting sent off into the cliff.
Yeah, so I guess if you're trying to avoid that situation, you have to make like J Lane and then just stay under the bridge. Just hold on to that little spot, Rune Keeper. Is that the play? I do think we actually have the leaderboards to go to as well while you answer that.
J-Lane, man, just holding that position like a rock, knowing he's the last player there. I think, honestly, for a trio, it's not such a viable position, right? 3 people stand out a lot more than a solo there, but J-Lane opting to just try to hold on for as long as he can. I think I would have personally, if I was on the other side of that gorge, used that bridge to push into Sari's team, right? Taking the pop shots, you're controlling one side is great, but if you can get Sari off top of that and completely control the top side of that, I think your team stands a better chance of winning, and they just opted to throw pop shots, and it came down, and Sari's team took the clutch.
Yeah, clutch indeed, as we have that leaderboard when we're talking about getting to the end of our trios. Team only Celestra at the tippy top at 59 points with 35 kills across today's games, but not too far behind them, of course, Ballista Boys. And we were talking about picking up lots of frags earlier. They were definitely a name that kept coming up. Odin, thoughts as we have our leaderboard set for our semifinal for trios?
Yeah, there's so many teams that I'm excited to watch in next week's finals, and all the people that showed up to play did fantastic. These players, like basically everybody on the upper side of this leaderboard, really played their hearts out. And we saw some amazing coordination coming out from all these teams. You know, the teams here that place a little bit lower definitely are going to be walking away with some lessons learned and probably be ready to come back next season with some more coordination, focus on their communication, their positioning, take some notes, watch the VODs, see what these teams are doing and how they're able to secure top positions so consistently.
Yeah, I mean, RuneKeeper, the competitive breadth of of tournaments that we've been having. There's a lot more to study in terms of what individual teams or players might be doing. Do you have any takeaways as we wrap up our trio semifinals?
Honestly, it's very interesting. I was super happy tonight to see exactly what he's talking about. These teams looking to the comps now, right? These strong players have shown time and time again that they know the mechanics, they know the tech, they know how to engage the fights, right? So what's left to improve, just like we talked about earlier, it's picking those proper comps. We saw a lot of the Tumulk and Viper we talked about. We're seeing Kurumi being thrown into the mix again. Of course, having a pocket healer there, very strong for your team. We're seeing different types of comps as well. Teams taking Tarka, playing a very more aggressive line, trying to pick up those kills. Again, Blackout Vulcan being a very strong zoning tool for them, allowing their teams to pick up some heavy kills. And even if they don't finish towards the very top of the leaderboard, those kills are putting them to the leaderboard at the end of these games.
Yeah, you're picking up points regardless, right, of how it's going to end when you can get those fights. And I think that you touched on something really cool there. The biggest thing from that last match that I saw was the variety in terms of the compositions that we got, right? It was, especially with some of those Viper ults like you were talking about, Odin, it's just when you get to see somebody execute and a team come together and make those plays, it really is something else to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw, the teams that made the best use of their ultimates are the teams that really pulled out ahead. Stolly's team, we talked about them a lot because they just had such good coordination and they made such good use of their ultimates together. Every time you see the Wind Prison come out with the Viper ult on any of these teams, it is such a difficult thing to deal with because the only answer to it is the Matari ult, but the Matari ult doesn't fix the Wind Prison. So if your whole team gets caught in it, sure, you could fight inside of it, but it could go sideways immediately if you throw like a Yoda Hime ult into the mix.
Yeah, and I think the coolest thing about this, you guys have touched on this a bunch of times, this is only season 1. This is going to wrap up the semifinals. We're going to have the season 1 finals next weekend. It should be an absolute blast. Before we sign off, final words from you guys. Start with you, RuneKeeper.
Yeah, man, just a great night, Nate, and of course, Odin, thanks for coming out and supporting us. It's great to be here with you guys, and big thanks to all the players coming out, showing what they've got, still putting the grind in, right? None of them getting sick of this game. They're here to show their love for the game, and they're here to show that they're the top players, right? And I gotta say, the performances have been insane, and I really appreciate that from all these players.
Hell yeah. Odin, any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on the finals next week. But even more than that, I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in the finals in December. Like I said, we've got these teams that are hungry for that money. They want to win. They want to show that they're the best. It's a lot of money on the line, 10 grand for solos and for trios. And some of these players are playing in both. So they're doubling down. So they're going to have to take a look at their shortcomings in these matches and go review with their teams, or if they're solos, review their gameplay, think about what they can do better, really study up on what the other players are doing that are getting consistent performing results, and just come back better next season. Some people, they were eliminated this time. They're not going to show up next week. They can come back and do better next season.
Amen to that. I think the best thing about this tournament format, like we said, and we're going to keep hammering it in, this is only season 1, but the season 1 finals will be coming up next weekend. Stay tuned on NARAKA BLADEPOINT social media, and we'll be getting into that in not too much time. But that does it here for us tonight for the Morus Cup semifinals. We'll see you next week and crown our season 1 champions.
Why are you tracking me?